Outrageous.
Shut the fuck up. You're not part of this community. You don't play this game. So don't come in with threat and go, this community never learned the matchup. Maybe your smoke fucking sucked. Maybe your smoke was underdeveloped. And that's why smoke wasn't very good to you.
God damn. And that was the 16-bit blow-up of the week.
Gather around, folks, and let's shoot the shit with K7 slips and 16-bit. They are the katana of the Midwest, the scorpion of the U.S., the cabal of the internet, and don't forget the special guest, KTP. Kombat Tune Podcast, now don't tell me that you never heard of that. It's official, it's the original. All imitations are just pitiful. Grab some food and get ready to go. Turn up the volume, cause it's time for the show.
Kombat Tune Podcast. Episode 28. The only podcast where you will get talk about mutant sex slaves and frame data on the same show.
When did we ever talk about mutant sex slaves?
Last episode.
Oh, last week, you idiot. You brought it up.
What?
You brought up Mystique.
Mystique.
Oh, mutant as in, like, evolutionary mutant. Man, what the fuck ever.
Not like deformed.
Thought you were talking about, like, fucking Toxic Waste Man or some shit.
Oh yeah, that's different. It's a different classification.
Totally different.
Yeah.
Alright.
You know.
Alright, I guess your statement was accurate. Please proceed.
Yeah. So, we got a pretty good response to our last show. Thousands of people listen to this horse shit.
That's so dumb.
That's scary.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Now we're back, and we have our first official guest since June of 2012.
Jeez.
Yeah. We got EGP Wonder Chef. What's up?
Hello everybody.
What's going on, dude?
I'm terrified to be here because I know all that's gonna happen is I'm gonna get blown up for Aquaman opinions and Catwoman opinions.
Oh, that's just the start.
I like it.
Characters that you've downplayed and upplayed. We'll get to it.
I believe it. I've been mentally preparing myself since you asked me, and yeah, I've steeled my resolve.
Damn, he says he's gonna blow up your blow up with sound reasoning.
I've been waiting years for this.
Years.
It pretty much has been years.
The day of reckoning is at hand.
The reptile katana downplaying, I don't know what to call it, rivalry.
That's only the beginning. Well, I think we should probably start off with the main thing, Superman.
Oh, man.
Kal-El, the Man of Steel.
Just hearing his name, my eyes start to just water, and my fists clench.
What do you have against Big Blue? That's what they call him.
Big
Why is he your avatar if you hate him so much?
That's the joke, idiot.
Oh.
I like that signature.
I like that signature.
Oh, that's a terrible... Dude, it's so ugly. It's like the ugliest statue that I've ever seen.
He looks like feminine in it.
He's doing this terrible pose.
Our artwork is from The Dark Knight Returns. It's iconic. The artwork is very stylized like that, but it's awesome.
They made it weird in that.
I saw the
looks funny.
Artwork looks fine. It looks totally fine, but they just put it into this. They like put it into a statue and looked at it from different angles. It just doesn't make any sense.
It's a weird pose.
The pose looks like he's going exit stage left.
Yeah. It's like a pose I'd see in like Dumb and Dumber or something.
So, what do you have against Superman? What's kind of your history with Superman?
Well, I mean, it really all starts It started that first tournament, the big Wednesday Night Fights tournament with the $2,000 pot bonus. And I was in winners finals, or grand finals in winners. And I had already beaten most of the top people there that night. I knocked Tyrant in the losers. And Tyrant fights me and resets the bracket 4-0 on me, and it costed me $800.
Damn.
So that's the start of it. And I have lost to Superman in literally over 90% of my tournament attendances.
Like, just Superman.
Not just Superman, but I've lost to Superman at almost every single tournament I've been to.
I would hate him too.
I mean, until Wednesday, I had literally had a streak for 4 months that I lost to a Superman at every tournament.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Well, what is it about Superman that just owns you?
Man, I mean, just every aspect of his game is so good. I mean, do you guys think anybody has better mobility than Superman?
Black Adam?
I don't know. I mean, his forward and back dashes are similar. Like, Black Adam's were better, slightly, but he didn't have the air mobility.
Yeah, he doesn't have the air dash.
It's true.
He's got a dive kick though, which is like
Yeah.
an attacking air dash.
Yeah, somewhat. But, I mean, you can't use it to go backwards, or like...
Cross up.
Yeah, and then you can't, like... Superman can jump, and then air dash, and then use a laser, or like do an attack. So like, he just controls the skies that way. So I mean, okay, there's his mobility. There's, his damage was huge. It was absolutely insane. Still good. But freaking, he used to have 80-90% combos.
That was dumb.
Yeah.
The reset, the OTG reset.
Well,
Still has
actually,
that, doesn't he?
Yeah. Have you guys been seeing the one that Slayer does now?
I don't know.
Explain.
Alright, well, it's basically what you do is you do the full combo, and where you would end with like 3 breath or something like that, you just do standing 2. And then you do forward jump, dive punch, or neutral jump, dive punch. Instant. And forward jump crosses up, neutral jump doesn't. They both OTG fully, you can't wake up, and they lead to a full combo.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Is it only in the corner that it leads to a full combo?
Yeah, that one's only in the corner, but there's some mid-screen setups. I'm just, not too familiar with them yet. Because Slayer's been just rocking us with those.
Do you get to punish both dive bombs if you guess correctly, at least?
I think it might be, character specific, because I know it's only, minus, it's not minus that much, and since it hits at the lowest point, it's not as minus as if you, hit them on the head. And, there's, weird pushback on block, so, I don't know.
Yeah, that's one of those interesting things. You can practice punishing dive bomb, but yeah, like you said, you're almost always going to be practice punishing it at max height. And in order to practice punishing it, you'd have to know that exact setup, I guess, or something. That's true. I never thought of that.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. But, I mean, yeah, so he's got that. He's got the, the vortex, mobility, damage. His zoning is insane. And, a lot of people on the East Coast, they don't know because, KDZ's a master of rushdown and not so much zoning. But man, dealing with Theo every week is something else, man.
I've heard his zoning is mediocre.
Yeah, KDZ says that Superman zoning is not that good.
That's how I first met KDZ. I was in the TYM chat, and he came in and he was talking about how, his zoning's not that good. And I said, you're stupid. You're an idiot. I'm like, this character's broken, his zoning's broken, and, yeah, so we argued that day. I haven't really talked to him since.
I actually went on Avoiding the Puddle podcast, and I got blown up for saying when Superman's at full screen, if you mix up meter burn, I-beam with the straight one, whatever the hell it's called, the blast, the zap, is that not, I think that's, almost impossible to see the difference. Or can you? You have the most experience.
Visually, I mean, not really. I mean, you just have to crouch block, and then just stand block if you see that it's a sweeping laser. I don't think you can react to the animation. I mean, yeah, it's really tough.
It puts, if it's possible, it takes a lot of concentration, it feels like.
He can delay the meter burn too.
Can he?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can delay it late.
It's so odd. Like, I don't know what I should look for first and then do the opposite. Like, should I stand block first and then duck, or should I duck and then
Always
stand?
duck and then stand block.
Okay.
Yeah,
I still hate it. I know I'm gonna get hit by that shit whenever I play like a really good Superman. They're just gonna spam that, and I'm gonna be like, God damn it.
What about like post patch? Do you think he's more manageable now?
He is more manageable. His damage is lower. That's, I think, the biggest thing. His forward 2-3 pressure is still really good. I mean, as far as using it as a footsie tool, it really didn't get that much shorter. The big difference is obviously he can't do like forward 2-3 breath over and over. But, I mean, he can still do like forward 2-3 trait, and then he, do like forward 2-3 meter burn laser, and then dash up and do another forward 2-3 into, more stuff like, and then, he has more than enough pressure still, and mix-ups. Forward 2-3 breath, instant air dash over 3 or something like that. But I mean, he's more manageable post-patch, slightly.
Do you think he's still like super tier, or has he been thrown down a bit?
I definitely still think he's super tier. I mean, he didn't lose anything in his zoning. His lasers got like slightly nerfed, but that's only really his like non-meter burn air laser, which you didn't use too much anyway unless you like good Supermen, they don't just throw it out. They throw it out only if they see that you've whiffed something on the ground. So like if they jump and they see that you did like a from the deep or like a straight projectile with Green Lantern, then they do the laser to whiff punish you. But they never just jump and just throw out random air lasers because they're so minus. So like his zoning's the same, his rushdown's slightly weaker but still the same, his mobility's the same, his mix-ups are getting better because we just didn't know about them. So I still think he's easily top 5. Probably top 3. Maybe the best.
Is he the best in the game?
Let me think about that. Huh.
Or
Who's better than Superman?
Or was he pre-patch?
He was definitely best pre-patch.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think it's kind of hard to argue that he was best pre-patch. I mean, the
What
only
about
argument was what?
The Black Adam argument.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Too.
but I mean, we only saw one Black Adam really dominate, which was Rico. I mean, we've seen other Black Adams that, do really well and win their fair share. I mean, there's Smargasm, there's Godspeed, of course. People like them, but they didn't dominate. None of them really dominated, except for like Rico. But we saw a lot of Supermen dominating. I mean,
couldn't that mean that Superman is more straightforward? But we didn't see that many Cabals dominate, but we all agree Cabal's the best character in the game. I think Sunk is the only person in the world that doesn't think Cabal's the best character in MK9.
Sunk, you just got blown up.
when the game first came out, I was arguing with Sunk too, and he said Superman's not that good. And he's trying to
Naturally.
blow me up for that. Yeah, naturally. When he was playing Superman.
Yes. He now is selling us a bill of goods about Aquaman not being that good. You'd agree with him on that.
They're both blowing you up.
No.
I mean, he's good, but it's whatever.
We can get to the Aquaman part later, unless you want to go to that now.
Now, regardless, I think we all agree Superman and Black Adam were extremely good. Why, then, after the patch, is Theo playing Aquaman?
I honestly think that Theo just really... Well, okay, what happened was Theo went through this phase before the patch where he was trying out different characters in case Superman got, just destroyed in the patch.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a week where he was using Flash, and there was a while where he was using Batgirl for a whole week, and who else? Like, he tried Black Adam, he was thinking about Deathstroke, but yeah, so I think what happened was he ended up playing Aquaman and just really enjoying him, and just kind of playing him more. I mean, his Superman is at least as good as his Aquaman still, but I think he just enjoys Aquaman more. Maybe.
It's not that Superman got overly nerfed. As far as I've seen on TYM and stuff, he seems to think that Superman's nerfs were pretty fair. It seems like Slayer is not complaining either. Is that accurate?
Yeah, nobody in SoCal is really saying, like, oh, Superman's not good anymore, or, like, Superman's just A tier. Like, everybody still thinks he's up at the S tier, still.
I saw Tyrant tweet, like, a day ago that SoCal is the home of the best Superman. What do you think?
I think so. I do think so. I mean, KDZ had amazing rushdown, but as the game progresses, I think you're going to need to, like, use all facets of your character more. And Theo and Slayer just have more complete Superman than KDZ, in my opinion. And, like, KDZ, his reads and stuff, and just his fundamentals are really good. But I feel like over time, especially, the SoCal Supermen are going to kind of win out, because it seems like KDZ doesn't like traveling out of his comfort zone. At least from what I've seen.
I do think
he does get upset sometimes.
Yeah.
I think he randomly lost to Gurr. I think he randomly lost to a Harley.
He randomly lost to Hawkgirl. Yeah, he is, for as good as he is, he can lose to things he doesn't understand. Now, every time he comes back the next week at the break and will win again. But what I find interesting about KDZ after this patch is, when I think of KDZ, I think of two things. Round 3 super and that corner damage. And both were heavily affected, so I can't wait to see how he adjusts to that. Like, he was so good. I love the way he used the super. Like, I'm glad that super got nerfed, but I did think the metagame, the way he used it, he was ballsy about it.
So trolly.
He would not clash. He would just sit there. He was very good at it. That always impressed me. Like, not clashing and shit like that is scary as hell.
He would not clash and then be losing because he didn't bet anything.
Yeah, like it cost them about as much as it helped them, but it was always super entertaining for me to watch. It was pretty impressive. So I am really curious to see, a month from now, how he does at, like, NEC and stuff.
You think, like, KDZ is the evil Superman and Theo is the good Superman?
I think all the Supermen are the evil Superman.
Now, Theo's the most loved Superman.
Yeah, it's funny that Theo's personality is that he's like a super nice guy, and yet he's the good Superman, and he zones. He's the cowardly zoning Superman. And Theo is kind of KDZ's kind of the cocky, the showman. You love to hate him, and he's like Rushdown doing these swag combos and shit. They kind of switched roles. Like, that's not correct.
I can't wait for them to play. KDZ and Theo. That's
Right.
going to be a legendary match.
Who do you think will win?
Yeah, who knows the mirror better?
Theo?
They've
Dude,
both played it a ton.
Oh, yeah.
Theo plays it every week.
Even if you don't play Superman as a main, if you're in SoCal, you know the Superman mirror. Because you've seen it 5 to 6 times every tournament. Maybe not that many, but I mean, nobody in the world knows the Superman mirror better than Theo and Slayer. Like, it's just impossible to know that matchup unless you're in SoCal. There's just not enough, like, high-level Supermen out there.
I think my favorite storyline going to NEC is the Superman drama, because everyone's putting their reputations on the line. Like, you guys know, Theo's going in there and he can make a huge statement. Is Slayer going too?
I don't know. I actually haven't talked to Slayer about it.
Theo's definitely going though, right?
Yes, definitely.
This is huge. Like, if he does really well, all of a sudden, maybe you guys are right and he is the best Superman. But KDZ, if he wins it, everyone has to hold that. His character got nerfed. What made him win Evo got nerfed, and if he wins, it'll be like Carl. Remember when they nerfed Lau and Carl won again, and it was like, damn.
Yeah.
God bless Carl. He's awesome. I can't wait. Like, if KDZ loses to another Superman player, how fucking hype is that? Skill gap. I can see the stream chat going ape shit. But if KDZ beats Theo in the mirror, damn, what a statement.
It's a blow up.
Yeah, that's a match where everything's on the line.
That is true, but I don't know. I have confidence in Theo. I mean, totally unbiased. I swear I'm unbiased, but I mean, if you look at the matches of KDZ versus Slayer at EVO, Slayer took the lead every time that he started zoning. Every single time. And every single time that he took the lead, he went back in and lost it. He just decided to go in. Like, KDZ is just... I mean, it's another thing that I see when I see KDZ playing, especially against Darth Arma, is KDZ loves pushing buttons. He loves just going in, just doing stuff. So, like, when you have to block and have to be super patient, it seems to me like that's his weakness. At least from, like, what I've seen. I could be wrong, though.
What do you think of people that say Superman has bad matchups? Killer Frost is brought up a lot. I mean, I guess you guys don't really have a top KF there, so maybe you wouldn't know, but what else do you think could be a potential bad matchup?
Well, I mean, we don't have, like, people that use Killer Frost in tournament, but we have a lot of people that use characters otherwise.
Okay.
And... I mean, okay, yeah, we obviously don't have as much experience against Killer Frost as other scenes do, some other scenes. But I just don't see how Killer Frost could be a bad matchup. I mean, yes, you can parry, but every time you parry, you're risking as much as you can gain. I mean, you know, it's the same as a backdash. Like, you can backdash forward 2-3 and whiff punish him, but if he reads it, you're gonna eat the same amount of damage. So, like, it's not, I mean, it just adds one more guess that both people can make. And she definitely doesn't outzone him, from what I can tell. Well, I mean, what do you think? You're the Killer Frost player, sort of.
I was a Killer Frost player. You saw the end of that, and I thank you for it. It's the best thing you've ever done for me. I don't know. I definitely think she can handle him. But I'm not convinced that's a winning match for her either.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how. Like, Killer Frost's biggest weakness is when they stay in the upper corner of the screen, and who does that better than Superman?
And correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, he can, like, you mentioned earlier, he can jump back. The only thing that she can do about people really jumping back is throwing out, close range daggers and throwing out a slide. But he can jump back laser, jump back air dash laser, just jump back naked, jump back air dash naked. Like, that jump back forward dash, like, I don't see how she would really have a good time trying to catch him. So yeah, I don't see how that's, a matchup that's not in his favor. If anything, I would think it's in his favor.
Yeah, I could see Footsie's round-based Superman. She would definitely win, and I think that's what got KDZ killed at Summer Jam. But I don't know if, like, a Slayer-type Superman would lose to Killer. I mean, he could lose, but, like, I don't know if it'd be a losing matchup.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can't use Iceberg, is what it's called, right? Her down back 2, her ice spike.
Yeah.
You can't use that to punish lasers, right?
No, I don't think so.
You can't. Iceberg doesn't hit when you're in the air. It's not like from the deep.
Yeah.
Iceberg only literally hits on the ground. She can punish some lasers with slide, but that's him fucking up. But like a well-spaced laser, she can't, like, Iceberg it as easy as Aquaman can, no. Regardless, I don't think it's the zoning that would fuck her over, though. I think Slips is right. All the air mobility options he has.
Yeah, like, when you gotta stay on the ground against Frost, that's when you're playing her game.
Right.
Like, if you are stuck with nothing but just jump back and shit, that's when you're like, God, this is stupid slide. But I mean, yeah, if you have options in the air, like if you got an air fireball or anything like that, just kind of suspend you in the air or kind of keep her guessing. That's when she has troubles.
But, I mean, you could say that the post-slide guessing game is probably pretty good for her. Like, I mean, wouldn't the risk-reward kind of be in her favor?
How would it be in her favor?
Well, she's the one that has safe resets, and think about the metagame. Like, you block a slide. If Superman does 4-2-3, you can parry it. If he thinks you're going to parry it, he can wait, let it whiff. Or I guess you could take a risk and do scoop. If she thinks you're going to wait, then you start doing the 50-50. You know, you go back into the fourth or your slide. Every time you're right, you get good damage. Meterless Vortex is going to be really good at it against him because of the nature of his wake-up attacks. Like, all he has is scoop and that air grab. So even if you don't want to use meter, you're still in a really good position after your combo.
But he's got the unpunishable option of throw.
That's true.
He can, if he doesn't feel like taking that guessing game, just throw.
That is true. That's something people often kind of neglect against her, I think.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're someone who can try to keep her away, or, you know, someone like Superman who just wants that space. It's like, well, the worst that can happen is you tech it and then he gets the space back, right?
Yeah, or she backdashes, or she jumps, just whatever. It's just doing a throw just separates them, which is kind of what you want.
That's true. I don't know. What about, who else is considered a possible black man? What about Catwoman? I don't play this match at a high level, so it's not for me to say, but Bone plays this match every week, and he seems to... I always follow Wednesday Night Fights, but I don't always watch it. Like, I always follow the brackets and all that, but it seems like I would say him and Slayer go back and forth. It seems to be about every other week, one beats the other and all that. What does he think?
Crazy, he thinks that it's slight advantage Catwoman, but I think it's even.
Why does he think it's advantage for Catwoman?
Well, one thing that Crazy is really good at, which is just totally random, is he's really good at playing a lame Catwoman. And if Superman does not have the life lead, I mean, he can build a lot of meter, but so can she from full screen. And he can't really threaten her, depending on the level. And,
Wouldn't that go both ways?
It does go both ways, but I mean, when you force Superman to come to you, you're getting rid of half of his game. And when you're forcing Catwoman to come to you, you're not getting rid of any of her game. Is what I see, at least.
I mean, that's true, you're not getting rid of any of her game, but that's, I would argue, is the deficiency of her, not like a talking point.
That's true.
That's like saying that's a deficiency, or that's like a thing for Johnny Cage. Like, of course, you can only do something up close. In fact, Johnny Cage has better zoning than Catwoman. Hold that, Dizzy. I'm working overtime. I do know, although I don't play the match at a high level, I have played the match at a high level in my head. Mm-hmm. And I've played every Catwoman match at the highest possible level in my head. And I don't know who wins or who loses, but I can see why it's close. Her back three can go under 4-2. Mm-hmm. His wake-up attacks are not the greatest. I think she has decent enough tools to deal with the zoning. I can see that perspective. Do you know what Theo thinks? Doesn't Theo always beat Bone?
No, they go very close, actually, okay. Also. I think Theo thinks it's 5-5, but I don't quote me on that.
Okay, I mean, fair enough.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, the close-up game, it's very close, because, you know, a lot of her stuff ducks under 4-2-3, like, you know, back three, and cat stance, if you were to use that, and her back dash is very good at avoiding his stuff. And he can't jump back a lot against her, because Whip controls that space, jumping right. 2. And, they both have options against each other, but it gets real even up close. And when you're far away, it also gets kind of even. It's very, you know, whoever has the life lead. So that's why I think it's sort of 5-5. Their damage is similar. You know.
What about Batman? I know Darth Arma, one of the best Batman players, he thinks, I'm pretty sure he tweeted this, that he thinks that's a winning matchup for Batman. And for a long time, I was thinking, this guy's crazy. He loses to KDZ every week at the break. And it always annoyed me. I was like, why is he saying that his character wins a match that he loses every fucking week? That would piss me off. I mean, when Dizzy's like, I don't know, I think Cage's katana's even, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here! I'd be so mad. Yet he would do that. And then he finally started beating Katie's. I think he's beat him 3 times in a row now or something like that. So maybe he is onto something. What do you have to say about that?
I disagree with that. Because, I mean, Darth Arma, I think, or I should say Batman, beats KDZ. Because KDZ like I said, he's not a patient player. It doesn't seem like to me, most of the time at least. Like he always goes in, even if he has a life lead against Darth Arma, is what I've noticed. He never tries to zone. He just kind of gave up on that aspect of it. But like Superman, he can hang with Batman in the zoning war. Like bats do not just destroy his zoning. And I mean, KDZ's defense against Batman is just also not optimal. I mean, you see him get honestly, the thing about Batman is, I feel like I'm really good at the Batman matchup. That's the only cocky thing I'm going to say in all of tonight. I'm really good at the Batman matchup.
So you're calling on Arma.
I think I would beat Arma. Yeah.
Damn.
Would you win the break?
I don't know. Probably until I ran into KDZ.
Yeah, they have KDZ and Fantastic, so the answer is no.
I'm really good at the Superman matchup, though. It's just we have really good Superman players, so we would see.
You're definitely a master of that matchup.
Yeah, I'm the best. No, but I mean, as far as Batman, I mean, Reno Rax came over the other week, and he's known to be a really good Batman, and I played him, and absolutely no disrespect to him, because he's the coolest guy in the freaking community, man, and he's a great player. But I mean, I played Green Lantern versus his Batman, and I must have beat him, I don't know, something like 6-7 games straight, and he just turns to me, he's like, you are so good at this matchup.
I did think it was interesting that Nubcakes beat him in the Batman mirror, and Nubcakes is that's right?
That is correct, yeah.
And he's not one of your hyped guys. I know of him as a Reptile player who's underrated in MK, but I've heard nothing about him in Injustice.
Yeah, I would love to talk about Nubcakes, man. He's my homie. He lives pretty close to me. He is insane. He is so good. He is the best Batman I've ever played. He's the most complete Batman that I've ever played. His rushdown is really solid. His zoning is really solid. His at management, his mid game, just like everything about him, he's so good. I mean, one week he came and he beat Satsui. Yasuto?
Yes.
You know Satsui. He beat Satsui, and then he beat Theo right in a row a few weeks ago, pre-patch. I mean, he is so good. But then he lost to Theo after that, of course. But yeah, no, I mean, Nubcakes he's an amazing Batman player, and he just doesn't, he's not used to going to tournaments, or like he doesn't have enough matchup experience with some matchups, but he's amazing. He's really amazing.
Who else do you think at Wednesday Night Fights is kind of underappreciated?
I made a list in case you asked me that question. I'm glad. As far as players, there's a guy named Rachusko, and he's extremely underrated. He really doesn't go to almost any, but I met him playing MK9. I didn't really know him for a while after that, but he's friends with Legend, and he's really good. He's probably, he might be the best Aquaman we have. Maybe better than Theo, maybe similar level. But at least before Theo picked him up, he was definitely the best Aquaman we had. Who did he beat? He beat King Hippo when King Hippo came over to Wednesday Night Fights.
Shout out to King Hippo from Arizona.
Yeah, also shout out to King Hippo, who's a really good player. Really good. But I'll talk about that later. So yeah, like, Rachusko's really good. I wish he could make it out to more. Who else is underrated? Immortal Angel, sort of.
Deathstroke player?
Scorpion player.
Oh, Scorpion.
But,
didn't he?
Previously Deathstroke.
Okay.
That guy teabagged me online. Fuck him.
Good. That's awesome.
Like,
Oh, is he the
other
Scorpion
day.
that beat Godspeed maybe like 2 weeks ago?
Yes, that's him. He is the epitome of like even randomness. Like you can never get a read on him. You're never like, well, this guy teleports a little bit more than he, does Hellfire or like, something like that. That's not a good example, but you can never get a read on him. It's like he's just rolling dice and just in his head, and he's like, oh, I got a 5, and he's like, teleport. He's like, I got a 4, and he just like dashes up and throws you or something. It's insane. I've never seen anybody so perfectly random. And Scorpion's perfect for him. So let him do stuff like that.
Interesting.
Who else is good? I think people know them now, but there's Steve and Brad.
Yeah.
Boom Brad.
Why does Steve go by that when that's not his TYM name?
I have no idea.
What's his TYM name?
Sajam.
Yeah.
Oh, that's him.
Yeah, he's on TYM and informs or streams constantly. Yet it's fucking Steve.
Yeah,
Night Fights.
I didn't know that was him.
Well, you know what his actual tag is? Superman Sajam. But he doesn't play Superman.
So wait a minute.
That's
Let me get this straight. For the past 2 weeks in a row, you've lost someone named Superman Sajam.
That's
who
true.
doesn't even use Superman.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. So I did lose to Superman last week, sort of.
Yeah.
Cursed.
In spirit.
So he's now your master, basically.
He's not my master.
He's beat you 2 times.
He did beat me 2 times.
That's
But
master.
I beat him the week before that, though.
So no one cares about the 1978 Olympics.
Man, 3 weeks ago? That's officially 3 weeks ago doesn't count?
Yeah, he's beat you 2 weeks in a row. He's your
It's
master.
that's like the 1970s.
Yeah, that's.
Okay.
I want to hear more about this Immortal Angel teabagging K7.
Yeah, I want to hear about that.
What did he do to you?
Alright, we play the first game. We met in ranked. It was down to the wire. It was kind of laggy. I dropped the game-winning combo. He teleports and beats me. We get matched up again. He blows me up. He's just random as fuck. I can't get a read on him. Jump threes, teleport, going crazy. He gets me in the fucking meter burn spear and he teabags me. And then he beats me. And I'm like, man. And I almost sent him hate mail, but I didn't. And I remember from MK, he used to do that shit in MK too.
What, do you get a spear and then just crouch a bunch of times?
No, I think he played Lao.
Yeah, he played Lao.
Yeah. He's a dick, dude.
Dude, he's done shit like that to, like, people in our scene online, like, before he came to tournaments. So, like, there's a few people in our scene that they just hated him. They're like, oh, it's that guy. When he came to, the first tournament he came to, I think, was, maybe it wasn't the first, but it might have been the first, was, Vindication. But, yeah, he's an asshole to everybody online. And his brother talks trash a lot, Zodiac. You guys might have played him, too.
Aren't they twins?
They're not twins. They look really similar. But yeah, they're not twins. Zodiac plays.
How old are they? Are they like teenagers?
Probably. They're like 20s-ish, or like 17 to 20-ish, I guess. Maybe. But dude, his brother plays exactly like him too. It's like this set of brothers, and they share one mind to just do random stuff.
He's random as fuck.
Do you think that if you punch a twin, the other twin feels it?
I think they might.
Did you know that Nazis experiment on that?
On twins?
Yeah, you haven't heard about that? Like, they'd
No.
kill one twin and see if the other twin would live and shit?
That's weird.
It's fucked up.
Thanks for that info about Nazis.
Thanks for taking it to the darkest place.
Yeah.
Does that give me a good excuse to punch Morty then?
Yeah, I've often wondered, when I beat Morty at Devastation, was Sal like, oh, like, did he get emo?
I hope so.
I like how Sal's like the evil twin and Morty's the nice.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah, I like Morty a lot. Just let me
not
just say
Sal?
that.
But not Sal.
I hate Zod. Dude, he was trash talking me in this game. He came into the Green Lantern forums and we were talking about I don't know, we're talking about like what he needs in the patch, and nobody was really asking for buffs, but he was like, you guys all suck. Your opinion's terrible. None of you guys are good Green Lanterns. The Green Lantern I play against is the best. And so I was like, dude, what are you talking about? You know, like, do you even play this game? And he starts trash talking me like, Chef, you suck at this game. I would kick your ass in this game.
Yeah, I didn't know he played the game. He probably doesn't.
He probably doesn't.
Yeah.
We visited Arizona, and he didn't even come up to me at all to play me. He was there for like 10 minutes, and he left.
Weird.
Can you tell them apart?
I usually can. I was
I
wrong
can.
at Evo this year, but I usually can.
I can't at all.
Wait, you were wrong this year?
Yeah.
What, you were just guessing right before. You weren't.
No,
I
there's
can tell
a
the
formula.
difference.
One of
I
them-
just magically they
No.
just switched body. Like, what are you
No,
talking about?
One of them has a scar. One of them wears darker clothes. You can tell.
Why wouldn't you have just gone by the scar then?
Because I didn't remember which hat. I didn't remember. It's been like a year since I last saw him. They had like retired. In my prime.
Sounds like you're full of shit.
No, in my prime I could tell. But like at Evo 2013, I hadn't seen him in a long time, and I was like, "Hey Sal," and he's like, "I'm Morty," and I was like, "Oh."
I bet Sal has the scar.
Yeah, Sal's the one that looks evil. Sal has slightly eviler looking hair. Like he kind of has that General Zod haircut, like the movie.
They're literally like the Cobra twins.
And he wears dark clothes. Yeah, Sal looks evil.
One's got a scar and everything. It's interesting.
Did you guys see the Man of Steel movie?
I did not.
I thought it was awesome.
I saw it. It was pretty good.
I saw it. It was good.
Last
There's
half
just a lot of
hour.
Zod lines I like to yell.
Did you root against the Man of Steel?
Yes.
It's un-American.
So, I have one final question about Wednesday Night Fights. If you were going to do a 5v5, and assume everyone that you want can go to NEC, versus Team East Coast, who would you choose?
Purely SoCal?
Let's say West Coast. West Coast. So you can include Wound, the Terry brothers, P-Board, any of those guys.
Okay, well, Wound and DJT are definitely in. MIT is good, I know, but I would not put him in because he's not been consistent, and I'm not sure who he's even playing now.
Let's talk about that. I was thinking today, we had that segment last week about MK players as underdeveloped. MIT, I like him a lot, but in this game, he has been the most inconsistent. He can get anywhere from last to top 16 in Evo. He has a different character every time you see him play. And it's like, well, maybe the game just isn't for him. Maybe maybe he's not taking it seriously. Yet his brother is consistent and is godlike. What's going on there? What do you think's going on there? And he keeps it real. He doesn't bullshit. He said the same thing. He said, I know I'm not doing as well as I should. I'm not sure what's going on. Well, what do you think his problem is?
The Vegas guys have come down for 3, I think. Wednesday Night Fights, maybe it was just 2. But one time he got second, and his Black Adam was extremely good. Extremely good. But I just think it's a consistency problem. I can't say the word. Consistency problem. Because, yeah, sometimes he's amazing. Like at Evo, he did really well.
Right.
But sometimes he gets eliminated in pools. Like, I think probably a lot of it is his character switching, which I may or may not know a little bit about. But he switches multiple times before you see him again. I mean,
yeah.
He was like, oh, I'm going to Wonder Woman. Oh, I'm going to Martian. Oh, I'm going to Deathstroke. Oh,
Right.
Yeah, he just keeps switching, but you don't even get a chance to see him in between. Like, with me, I'm like, oh, I'm going to switch a character, and then I'll use him for a tournament or 2 tournaments, and I'm like, fuck that, they suck, and then I switch again. But he is switching at lightning fast speed, and I think that might be an issue.
I'm wondering if he's not as good a tournament player as he was in MK in this game for whatever reason.
No.
Like, I wonder, you don't think that's the case?
Dude, why do you think DJT, obviously DJT's good. I'd say half the reason is that because his brother can play 1,000 characters. I mean, does DJT play online at all?
I know he plays a little, but yeah, I'm sure he would say his brother's his main training.
I mean, I think MIT is probably 50% of the reason why he's so good.
But MIT had multiple characters in MK and was extremely successful. Any tournament he could go, from Liu Kang, randomly to Reptile, randomly to Johnny Cage. That didn't hold him back in MK.
Well,
I don't know. Maybe you only switched around with the good characters.
No, I mean, you know what? One thing was is Vegas and MK. They all played all those characters. They all developed them together. Like,
that's true.
It wasn't just like, oh, I have to fight, a Kung Lao. It's like I have to fight a Vegas Kung Lao. Like everybody there played Lao. Everybody played Liu Kang. Everybody played Cage. Vegas as a whole practiced those characters together. But in this game, like, I just don't know how many characters they each play, maybe. Plus, they lost Dab. That's big.
I think MIT's just kind of stretching it thin for his brother. Maybe a little too thin.
Yeah, it's possible.
So anyway, you have Wound and DJT.
Wound and DJT. Tyrant, hands down.
Grundy.
Yeah, Grundy's amazing. People need to stop downplaying Grundy and acting like he's like this like low tier character that like is slow and has shit normals and can't do anything. The character's so good.
Tyrant Grundy is like my favorite thing to watch in this game.
What makes Grundy so good? Like, what's the basic Grundy metagame? Kind of lay out his metagame very quickly.
Okay, well, like, one thing is that none of the weaknesses that people conceive that he has, he doesn't actually have them. Like, his dash is one of the best in the game, hands down. It's like an Aquaman dash, essentially. It's very, very similar. Like, fast recovery, good distance.
It's like Doomsday's almost.
Yeah, but it recovers faster. That's the thing that he has above all the other big bodies, is like, it recovers super fast. So you can dash block, dash and block, dash and block. And, so he's got that. His hitbox isn't actually large. It's only large when you're like juggling him or he's standing. When he's crouching, he has a small hitbox, which is a big deal. His normals are very good. They're just not what people are used to. So like, in this game, you use standing ones or like standing twos as quick pokes, right? Or down ones. But his standing one is mid and far range, so that's his footsie tool. His quick poke is like, either he uses armor or he uses down two. That's his quick poke. Which people just like, they kind of misjudge that. Like everybody's like, oh, there's an unsafe move, I'm gonna standing 1-1-2 it. But, that's not his answer. That's like a Black Adam back 2-3 for him. So like, he's got good normals. They're just placed differently. And I mean, his damage is insane. Just insane. I mean, he gets like over 70 to like 80 for a bar. And he builds it back.
The back one reset.
Yeah, the back one reset's ridiculous. I mean, he uses stage interactables really well too. Like, Tyrant started out the game by hitting me with like a jump 2, 1-1-2, bounce, back 3, jump 3, 1-1, swamp hands into jump 2, back 1, reset. That's like my entire life bar. It's ridiculous. And I mean, any character that has 4 hits of armor for free, come on, how are you gonna, like...
Yeah, I don't know how you have bad footsies with that.
Yeah.
And you can cancel it into another one. The walking corpse cancel into another one.
Yeah, or you can just cancel in a block. I mean, there's really no recovery time on it.
So how does the 1-1-2 metagame work? It seems like that's the core of his offense.
It's a big part of it. Okay, so basically, he can do... He has 1-1-2, and then he's got multiple options. He can do command grab, which command grab beats blocking, obviously.
Right.
But it loses to jumping and meter burn back 3. Okay. Now, if they jump, you can instead do 1-1-2 meter burn cleaver, which beats jumping, beats crouch blocking, but loses to meter burn back 3. So meter burn back 3 is kind of a big weakness in there, but he can cover it. So then, if you really shouldn't, but if people start backdashing or something, you can do 1-1-2 swamp hands. It kind of sucks though. It's useless. So the third real option is 1-1-2 walking corpse cancel. So that loses to meter burn back 3. Or, I'm sorry, it beats meter burn back 3 because you absorb it and you go through. It kind of beats jumps because you can just cancel it and then do AA grab. And it pretty much on a block, like, you get the mix up, you know, are you going to let it go? Are you going to cancel it and do normals? Like, there's really nothing that beats 1-1-2 walking corpse cancel. Unless you're Superman. But that's basically the meta. He's either going to grab, or...
Okay, no, go on.
Okay, he's either going to grab, meter burn cleaver, walking corpse cancel.
I've seen, like, you, Theo, a couple other guys talk about Grundy being top 5, and Tyrant's like, you guys are idiots on Twitter. Where are you, like, just kind of fucking around, trolling Tyrant, or what did you really think?
I really think he's top 5.
Yeah, but could it be that Tyrant's just that fucking good?
Tyrant is that good, but I mean, the character just has the tools. I mean, he hits like Cyrax. His mobility's good. He has some of the most consistent anti-airs in the game. He has infinite armor. Come on. I mean, also meter burn trait is amazing and underused.
Yeah, it's tight.
Yeah, like if you do walking corpse cancel meter burn trait, that is just undefeatable. Like, they just have to be jumping. What else does he have? I mean, his counter zoning is really good. Really good. That meter burn swamp hands. Like, did you know that if Superman does a ground laser, any ground laser from full screen, Grundy on reaction can meter burn swamp hands it? It's fast enough. I mean, what is the character lacking? What do you guys think the character's lacking?
I honestly don't know. I mean, you were the ones playing high level Grundy. I'm not. So I'm only asking hypotheticals. I have no idea. I can't wait to see Tyrant play more, like go nationally. Do you expect him to get top 8 at NEC?
Oh, definitely. I mean, Grundy is also a character that you need to know the matchup. I mean, you need to have experienced that meta that we were talking about, the mix-up meta. But even, I mean, there's more after that. I mean, he can also do, like, he can do 1-1-2 walking corpse cancel, and you can be blocking, and then he'll do, like, forward 1-2 command grab. So, like, you have to block, then do nothing, then block low, then jump the command grab.
Or you could just do 1-1 command grab. You're fucked.
Yeah, if you're waiting for the 1-1-2, you can do 1-1 command grab, or 1 back 2 command grab is his favorite, especially in the corner, because it combos.
Yeah.
So on hit or block. There's just tons and tons of mix-ups. So I think that, I mean, if you look, Superman's still probably his worst matchup. Right?
Right.
I mean, I think so.
I guess.
And yeah, Tyrant beats Superman every week. Some of the best Superman in the US, in the world. So, like, if he goes and fights people that don't have experience against the good Grundy, and, I mean, let alone Tyrant's Grundy, who is obviously the best Grundy, no offense to anybody else out there, but I think it's kind of obvious.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's...
He is Grundy.
Yeah.
That's fucked up, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, don't go there.
That's fucked up,
That's
dude.
super fucked up, man.
Grundy is not black.
You don't even know his
Dude,
skin.
that other outfit he's got, he's hella black.
What,
I don't
boss
think so,
Grundy?
dude.
No, not the boss
fucked
one.
Up.
No, the one where he's got, like...
In
that
prison
haircut.
gear? That's super fucked up! What the dude?
We're editing this out.
No, man, like, not that one. The one, isn't there one where he's got, like, that short hair?
He's now, idiot. He's wearing a prison jumpsuit.
Yeah, that is a prison.
This may be the most racist thing ever said in this show.
I like the pimp outfit.
That's racist.
There's no going back now.
Man, what the fuck ever.
Does this game?
I agree. Like, I don't think we should base it. Oh, Tyrant's just good. It's like, wait a minute. I thought that's what we base it on. We base on that character played at the highest level.
Yeah, but what other Grundys are doing well?
Who cares? That's never.
That's not the point. The point is that character at the highest level. Like, if that character is being played at the highest level, then that character, and he's beating everyone, then, I mean, obviously that player is good, but that character is good too.
Right. I'm the only one doing it has always been weak sauce. I mean, we heard that about Kenshi. We heard that about Cabal, which wasn't even true. Like, Detroit would win an MLG, and we'd be like, dude, it's only Rio, man. He's just that good. Like, what? Like, Kerbo just would be Cabal.
There's a ton of good players out there, and to think that one person is outlandishly better than everyone else, and their character just like their character sucks, and they're just outlandishly better than everyone. Like, that's ridiculous. Like,
yeah,
they're really good, and their character has all the tools.
It's almost like if someone went apeshit about how bad their main was on a podcast, and then 5 days later won their local tournament with them.
Damn.
Yeah, what an idiot that person would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially like if that person's competition, never punished anything.
I was punishing everything I could.
Well, your character can't punish my meter burn teleport. But there's plenty of matchups that I played that no one was punishing Scorp's meter burn teleport. No one's punishing Scorp's back 2. When we're actually, okay, when Tyrant's playing all these Supermen, they're punishing Grundy to the max. That's why we know Tyrant's good. We know Grundy's really good. Because he's able, everyone's doing everything they can in the matchup. I'm sorry that Catwoman's not capable of punishing. In fact, this is bullshit. The reason why I was like a few minutes late for this, I was just now playing Sunk in the Aquaman matchup. I told him what to do. He practiced punishing my meter burn teleport. Just like that, I was tearing. It was at least even. He might have won the set. God, Scorpion sucks.
Is he really as bad as you thought as you get better with him?
It depends on if you can punish the meter burn teleport. If you can punish the meter burn teleport like Aquaman can for 42 goddamn %, then yeah, it fucking sucks. Green Arrow can punish it. Frost can punish it into a reset. I mean, Christ. Batman, I mean, good game. Like, should I go through the list of who all can just fuck me over? It sucks.
What about the matchups where you can't punish the meter burn teleport?
Okay, then he's fine.
Okay. So
then it's like a 5-5.
Okay.
So do you think he needs to throw out random meter burn teleports, or he's just terrible in a matchup? Like, there's no other way?
No, I don't think he needs to throw them out randomly.
Well, I didn't mean like randomly. I mean like non-hit confirmed meter burn teleports.
You gotta do it. Like, there's nothing. That's the thing. There's nothing that's safe. It's not like he can do a safe 50-50. He doesn't have. That's why I rage, because at least when he had meter, like, I didn't mind that it got toned down. Like, he became negative, but -8. Well, I was like, why not just -5? I was like, or -6 with a little bit of pushback. I was like, now I don't have anything safe. Like, Christ. So, that's my beef. It needed to be toned down, but -8, that sucks. Emo about it.
Don't you like playing him though?
He's fun. I do enjoy him a lot. I like trolling people with him. It's fun. I like Hellfire, and he's cool. He's got a good voice.
His voice.
Do you think a lot of people were asking in the stream last night, like, who are you playing this week and all that? Are you done swapping characters and all that?
Yeah.
Are you now a
it's
Scorpion
done.
main?
Yeah.
Okay. No
It's
Deathstroke.
Nah. I like Deathstroke, though.
No more Cyborg.
Nah. Sorry,
That's cool.
K7.
Why don't you like Cyborg?
I do like Cyborg. You know, this experiment is still ongoing. If Sunk starts blowing me up in tournament, like I'm playing and Sunk starts blowing me up, and I'm just like, God, this is freaking unwinnable. Wait a minute, this is bullshit. Wait, you yourself, 16-bit, you're always the one saying, you know what? You were just blowing up Sunk the other day. You were like, Cabal Katana 7-3. Until I play someone that can play the matchup as good as Dizzy, in my mind it's a 7-3. Well,
no,
until I play someone that can play the Scorpion matchup as good as Dizzy, fuck that. 8-2. Fuck out of here.
All right. I thought you were reasonable. I thought it was worth bringing up since you won our tournament, and I think your answer was perfectly.
I think I got away with a lot of shenanigans. It's only the second week I've been playing with him.
As long as you admit Catwoman doesn't body Scorpion.
I never said Catwoman body.
Bullshit! You said that was like 2-8, like a couple.
Bullshit! What are you
were like,
talking about?
I can't get a game.
What?
Yeah.
That never happened.
All right.
Oh yeah, when you. Yeah, whatever.
All right. You only said it when you were angry, and we all know. At GG,
Yeah, there's the 5-minute buffer after a set. You get 5 minutes to say whatever you want.
That's
5
fair.
hours. It's 5 hours.
You have 5 hours because you're uncontrollable.
After a losing set, there's 5 hours where anything I've said I cannot be held accountable. Everyone knows that.
Dude, how do you deal with salt in this game? It's bad.
You see me last night screaming at how Lex is broken?
Dude,
I don't.
I get mad sometimes, like really mad.
This game really makes you mad, yeah.
It does. Like
Game
10 times worse than MK.
Yeah, because the moves are so powerful. The moves are more powerful than the movements, so it's like it feels like your options are limited, and you're just like, there's nothing I could have done about that.
Yeah.
But it's just, when the moves are that powerful, you just gotta walk a little bit more and be a little more patient.
Yeah, you have to be patient, and you need a ton of matchup knowledge. There's a ton of like obscure little, I didn't know I could backdash there. I didn't know that had a gap. Now I get it. But until you get that, it feels like you have no options. It feels like I'm just getting blown up by this one move. It's just hitting the ground. I can't do anything, and you get really mad.
Yeah, and in MK, if you're getting blown up by one move, you can rely on your movement to like make it whiff or fake them out. Mm-hmm. But this game, it's just like, instead of being able to do that, you just kind of gotta like, kind of walk in, kind of just put pressure on them without doing anything, or like dash and then block real quick, and so it's just different.
I also think, like, for me, it's like the nature of trait and the character designs being so different makes me feel this jealousy. Like playing PPJ's Lex last night. The whole time I'm thinking, this armor is bullshit. I can't do that. Selena can't do that. That's fucking bullshit. My trait is this garbage little auto combo. Fucking armor. Stupid. So, like, it just makes you mad. You're fighting a Batman player, and he gets those bats out. You're like, I don't have anything like that.
He gets in for free.
Yeah, then there's a lot of moves and traits where he's in for free. It's just guess. This is bullshit.
It makes you so mad.
Yeah, like, it's weird to say, but one of my favorite things about this game is how mad it makes me. Like, I'm hooked on the roller coaster of, like, every week something new blows me up, and I'm like, this is bullshit. And I'll talk to Slips on Facebook and like, Paulo fucked up, man. This is how do we miss this? And he'll be like, calm down. And I'll go into training mode and figure something out. And I'm like, oh, okay. So
this game's like, huge.
And then I'm like,
on the knowledge. Remember my Triforce of Talent?
Oh, the shards.
The shards.
I remember the shards.
You guys sound like robots. Is it just me?
What do you
What?
Fix your shit.
You.
It's you.
Keep talking.
Now you sound like a robot. Hold that.
You sound like robots.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, dude. Like, when we're saying shit. Anyway, Triforce of Talent. Link's Triforce was the Triforce of Courage, right?
Yeah.
Triforce of Courage is like the fundamentals, like your inner game, like your ability to adjust and figure shit out. And that was huge at MK9. Like your fundamentals, like could take you a long way. It could get you past matchups that you don't know. Like if your spacing was better, if your like footsies were better, like that could the movement in that game was greater than the special moves, so you could overcome special moves by that. But that Triforce is shrinked in this game, and the Triforce, what was Zelda's? The Triforce of what was it? Like
Knowledge?
Knowledge?
Yeah.
Knowledge, yeah. The Triforce of Knowledge is like huge in this game. Like you really got to do your research in this game to really take the advantage on those matchups that were the meta where your A game beats their A game or their A game beats your A game. So your meta 2, like in order to advance to meta 2 to shrink that gap of a 7-3 becoming a 6-4. Like, you really gotta have a lot of knowledge about that matchup and shit. And then the Ganon's was the Triforce of Power, and that's just execution, your ability to execute and punish and shit like that. So, I think that's where it shifted. Like, a lot of people they would just kind of rely on spacing and footsies for shit they didn't, matchups they didn't fully get in MK9, and that's good, but the matchup knowledge is huge in this game, and if you don't have the matchup knowledge, you're gonna get. If you don't know how to punish everything, then you're just gonna get blown up the first time you see it.
Yeah.
It's huge.
I think it takes getting blown up to just figure out how to do.
Yeah, like you're just gonna go through shit. Like you're just gonna have to go through the growing. Like the first time I played Shazam, I was like, "What the fuck is this garbage?" Like, Christ.
Just teleporting.
He's just teleporting all day and throwing out this fucking Psycho Crusher, and it's like, oh, you can punish it at a distance, but you can't when you block it up close. Like, shit like that. Like the first time I played Max Intensity's Bane, like he's doing that fucking uppercut into that drop kick, and I'm like, God, this thing is blowing me up.
Bane is dumb, dude.
And like I was like, I gotta learn how to like. You're just gonna have to just go through your growing pains. I got a question.
Okay.
What is the statute of limitations? Like, if your wife's in a coma, how long is it before you can sleep with another person? Like, she's in a coma for, like, years.
About a week.
A week? You're gonna give her a week?
Dude, she won't know.
What do you think, a year? 1 year?
A year? She's in a coma a year?
1 year.
And then it's okay?
What kind of coma? What's her brain activity like? Is it like Terry Schiavo?
Wow.
Like it's possible she could wake up at any time, but it's been a
No, well, Terry Schiavo.
It's been a year.
No, because there's context here. Terry Schiavo was not. If there's no, her brain was mush. Like there was nothing to wake up to. She was gone.
Like a vegetable.
Right. She was gone. She was not capable of the type of. She was not the person she was before. The statute of limitations there might be like 6 months, if not even sooner. If you don't have your memories and all that, you're not who you are, and it's
okay.
Not that person.
All right.
But if their brain activity looks good and the doctor's telling you she might wake up at any time, then that's interesting.
Let's say you don't know.
No, they could do brain scans.
Yeah. It's been a year though.
What, a year? Wait, so it's already been a year?
It's already been a year.
Well, I mean, that's 16 bits staying a year, so it's been a year. She's still in it.
I think a year you're good to go.
Like you mark it on the calendar?
A year. I think that's super reasonable.
She wakes up 5 days later.
Yeah.
Honey, what's this mark on the calendar? Oh, nothing.
What do you think?
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd sit by her bedside every night.
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
And I'd cheer her on. I'd be like, "You're gonna make it, honey."
Why bring it up if you're just gonna bullshit us? What would you really do? I mean, you've got to be like 48 hours.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Why am I this piece of shit?
You break up marriages.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, here-
Do you have any morals?
I have a reverse question. If there was somebody, would you sleep with them if their husband was in a coma?
Yeah. If they make that decision,
That's their bad.
That's on
That's
them.
bad.
That's on them.
Yeah. Fuck that shit.
Well, I mean, personally, would you?
Yeah, I don't care.
Everybody's like, yeah, okay.
no, there's not.
I mean, there was like a whole Seinfeld episode based on that. Remember, like, she wanted to do him, like, right in front of him?
Yeah, that was tight.
He was like, this is insane.
Seinfeld.
I gotta...
What do you guys think about assisted suicide?
Wait, I'm not done here. Like, let's say it's been, like, 6 to 8 months. You're super loyal to your wife. The doctor's in the other room. Someone else went code blue or something, or red, whatever it is.
What?
They're gonna be gone for a while. It's you and the wife. I mean, can you slip it in? Is that okay?
No.
No, that's weird.
No.
Is that weird?
That's
weird.
super weird.
That's weird.
It's your wife.
She's not conscious.
It's your
Like, not
wife.
even
It's
asleep.
rape.
She's like in a coma.
How is it rape?
That's rape.
Yeah.
She's not
She's not consenting.
right.
She's not
It's your
consenting to anything.
wife.
She's
You
not
do it for free
conscious.
all the time.
Just because it's your wife doesn't mean it's not rape.
You can rape your wife.
Yeah, you can rape your wife, you idiot. We're not living in the 1700s.
You're my wife, now I can do anything with you.
Yeah.
You think she'd be mad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
No, she'd be fine with it.
She'd be fine. She'd be like, you know what?
No.
If it stopped you from cheating on her, I'd say she'd be down. In fact, if I ever get a wife, we're gonna have this conversation, honey. If you get fucked up, can I do you like while you're in a coma? Otherwise, I mean, you got a year. I think I'm in the right. Fuck you guys.
If it was previously talked about that you have, it's fine. You're good to go.
Even if you didn't, she'd wake up and be like, "You didn't cheat on me." Which is like, "Well, I had to slip it in you while you were asleep." She'd be like, "Oh, well, I mean, that's cool."
Dude, what if you got her pregnant while she's unconscious?
Would that work?
Why wouldn't it?
I think it would work.
Why wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think it would work.
Unless it like dripped out.
How would it drip out? She can't stand.
Good point. We're
I don't know.
obviously
That'd be weird.
yeah, we're obviously not the rapists that you are, Slipped.
Yeah.
That'd be weird.
Slips is that guy from the start of Kill Bill when she's paralyzed with the
Yes.
pussy
Buck.
wagon.
Buck.
That Slips.
Fuck.
I'm Buck and I came to fuck.
I wonder what they do with it. Like, what would the doctors do? Do you think they'd abort it?
Yeah.
Do you
This
think
is
they
getting dark.
like? Would they tell the family? Like, what if you're the doctor and suddenly one of your coma patients is pregnant? Like, what do you do?
I think that doctor's on blast.
Like, do you tell the family, or just like you just be like, listen, we gotta do something about this?
I don't know.
Family would definitely be told. They're not going to cover. Why would they cover?
Yeah, you worked with medical people, 16-bit. What would happen?
I didn't work with coma patients.
Did you get any of them pregnant?
No, that's definitely. However, there was someone at my work that got caught fucking a patient.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
Did they get fired?
Yeah, but no, it was consensual.
Oh,
That's alright.
They still got fired though.
Really?
But they were mentally, like, challenged.
No, they were mentally ill, not mentally challenged. There's a difference.
Okay.
It wasn't
Was she
like
hot?
no.
Damn.
She was really old, dude.
Like that makes a difference.
It does. She was old? Why would you?
Yeah.
What? How is that worth your job?
And they were in a closet.
Oh my god.
That's awesome.
How did they get caught?
Someone opened the closet.
God. Just like they had to go get something, or
I
like
guess.
they
I don't know. I wasn't the one that opened the closet, but that's what I heard.
Would you
I don't
rat
know.
if you
No.
caught someone?
No, I would not. I'd be like, well, whatever.
I'd tell all my friends and laugh about it.
I would talk about it on a podcast.
Right.
So what do you think about assisted suicide? I don't understand why it's illegal.
I'm for it.
Yeah. I don't care.
Yeah. In certain situations, you gotta do it.
Why can't
If
you
you
do
want-
it yourself?
Because you're like so weak, you can't do it.
That's your bad, man. Fucking do that at least. How hard is it? Just fucking. There's a subway coming. Just fall in front of it. Like how hard
What
is
if you're
that?
bedridden?
Right.
I'm gonna stop eating.
That's a horrible way to go.
Dude.
What's wrong with that?
Stop eating. Alright, I'm gonna kill myself. I'll peace out like a week from now.
A week? No, it's way longer than that. Without eating?
Yeah, it's
It's-
bad.
It's like 2 weeks without water.
Right.
And like way longer without food.
How does the assisted suicide work? They just come with a gun and blast you?
No.
No.
Yeah, dude.
That's how it works, yeah.
Yeah, this Glock. No.
They got a clob.
No. It's like chemicals and shit.
Remember the
Fuck.
clob in GoldenEye? Why was that the shittiest gun ever?
Because it's named after Ken Lobb. It's a joke.
Yeah, that gun sucked.
Yeah.
Alright, well then, okay, how do you differentiate people that like when do you say, okay, now it's okay for you to get assisted suicide?
Nothing.
Like, where
There
do you
are
draw
no
that line?
You
So
wanna kill
anybody
yourself?
can get it.
Anybody can get it, yeah. Why not?
Would
Go
you
for
put an age restriction on it?
if you have parental permission, the kid can.
What?
I don't know. About that.
Get the fuck out!
I don't know
Get
about
out of
that.
here!
No, if you have a
Whose parents are gonna be like, yeah, let little Johnny kill himself.
If you have a kid who is seriously ill and his life sucks and he wants to die and his parents say it's okay, then who the fuck are we? Why should you not have the right to take your life anytime you want for any reason? The only regulation should be to make sure that mentally ill people don't make a decision that they're going to regret. Other than that, there should be some kind of, ways to judge if it's valid. But if it's valid,
Sometimes people just get super emo,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
and then they just want to kill themselves just for a few days.
Right. That's what I mean. It can't just be all willy-nilly. But if you're consistent, rational, you're capable of making this decision, I see no reason that you should not be able to take your life. It's your life. You should be able to do what you want with it.
Well, how long do you get?
I don't know. I'm not making this panel up. I'm not making the rules. I'm saying, in general, though, I'm not against it.
Yeah, but by doing that, you're kind of involving someone else. You're putting it on them. They've got to live with the fact that they killed you.
Well, obviously, there would be people okay with that. I mean, it's not like we're forcing the job on people. Whoever takes that job,
How much
sure
does
they'd
it
be-
cost?
I have no idea.
Wouldn't that be weird?
Yeah.
Aren't most suicidal people like broke?
No. That's not true at all.
Like someone who's just like constantly like fucked up on heroin. They're like, my life is over. I mean, they don't have any money.
I mean, there's also rich people that kill themselves.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Like, you don't have to be a poor heroin addict to
Right.
to want to kill yourself.
I don't think it's a formula.
Did you hear what happened to the guy that owned Segway? The inventor of Segway? He drove his Segway off a cliff.
That's
Are you
amazing.
serious?
I'm dead serious.
No, he's dead serious.
Drove his Segway off a cliff. How awesome is that?
On purpose?
That's kind of cool. I mean,
I don't think it was on purpose. I'm not sure.
That sucks.
Yeah, I think he was just driving it on his estate, and he was like, ah!
Oh my god,
Oh,
that
shit.
sucks. I hate those things, man. Fuck those things.
you remember when they were like, "This is gonna change the
The
world"?
world, yeah. I remember that. They were like,
I hate
Nobody
them.
bought those fucking things.
They're dumb.
They're too expensive.
Yeah.
I would have
Who is
bought
the
one if it was like
most
$20.
in the Mortal Kombat community, who would be the most likely to drive a Segway? I say Glass Sword.
Yeah, I can see that.
Tom Brady.
I'd say you.
What? Jop.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the fat people. So me,
Yeah.
I could see Tom riding around in a tournament in a Segway.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd like roll up on someone and start blowing them up.
Yeah.
The Tom thing where he just kind of walks from area to area, like from person to person, but instead he'd just be rolling on the Segway.
Yeah, it'd be
Because
awesome.
he does that at every tournament.
Let's talk a little bit about MK.
Okay.
I want to talk about Reptile.
Oh,
Chef,
man.
you don't think Reptile's a good character? Talk about it.
I think I wouldn't say he's not a good character, but he's very good against a lot of the cast, but he's very, very bad against a lot of the top tiers.
Who is he very bad against?
Okay, Lao is really bad.
Lao is really bad.
Yeah.
Even though Perfect Legend's final tournament loss that we last saw him was Lao versus Reptile.
Dude, I don't even know. Like, I mean, Chris G makes reads that are like, he just makes an insane amount of right reads. Like, you could potentially win with anybody with that many right reads.
What's so bad about Kung Lao versus Reptile?
Reptile just doesn't control airspace well enough. Like, his standing one is a really good anti-air, but only from the angle, like, right in front of him. Like, above his head, and especially behind him, he has really weak anti-airs. So, like, on top of that, he just doesn't, like, control airspace, aside from, like, where his projectiles go. So it's hard for him to deal with that. Just his, like, teleport's surprisingly good against him. It can be, like, teleport 2 beats a lot of his options, and you can teleport in reaction to his projectiles because they cover themselves really well, but if you can get behind them, they actually have really slow recovery, you know? It's just really hard for people that can't get behind him immediately to, like, punish them because they cover themselves. What else about it? His zoning is really good against Reptile. Low hats really, like, just cover the space where he can dash. And you can't just, like, duck them and then dash immediately after they, like, go over your head because they're low.
Like this sounds like a kind of standard Kung Lao match.
Not exactly. I mean,
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
not- I mean, it's like Kung Lao against a lot of the cast, I guess, but I don't know. I think it's a lot of just with his air control, Reptile's air control.
Okay, that's one. What else?
What else?
I mean, doesn't he do well against Kenshi and Cabal, relatively speaking?
Relatively speaking, he does do well against. He does well against Cabal, relatively, but Kenshi, I feel like if Kenshi players started learning the matchup more, it would be in Kenshi's favor. Like, towards the end, I mean, originally it was like 6-4 Reptile, right? Then it went to 5-5. Towards the end, like, Ducky and me and Pig were saying, okay, I think it's 6-4 Kenshi. And, I mean, it might have stayed around.
That is relatively well. That is good.
Okay.
Losing 4-6 to Kenshi is like,
It's better
that's
than
awesome. Yeah, that's better than, that is good. If you only lose 4 Kenshi to Cabal, or if you only lose 4-6 to Cabal and Kenshi, you're in business.
Okay, but let's talk about his really bad matchups, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so, Lao's potential 7-3.
I don't know about that.
Alright, well, it's at least 6-4, possibly 7-3. Sonya, definite 7-3.
Why?
100%.
Why?
She completely outzones him fireballs. Up close, like, he just can't do anything against her except for try to make reads with dashes. Her down 4 is, like, at least as good as his, slightly better. Dive kicks just blow up a lot of his game, and it's hard for him to get... Yeah, but it's hard for him to get real good punishes on them. Like,
what's wrong with 4-2 force ball?
4-2 force ball, yeah, that's what you have to do, but, like, you have to do it really fast since 4-2 is so slow. Like, you have to be really...
Oh, so sort of like punishing dash.
No, that's
yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
How many dashes go unpunished in tournament? This reptile community, these reptile players for 2 years have talked about how easy it is to punish that move, and the best players in the world fail to punish it all the time. All the time. I'm tired of pretending like that's something like being someone inconsistent when that's embarrassing, because it's not, and everyone's full of shit. You see it miss all the time.
Because there's not a consistent reptile in a lot of the scenes. They just don't have the practice. I mean, like, play against Cat. I mean, he knows the match.
Cat? Chris G has a winning record against Cat in 2013.
It's true.
Chris G has a winning record against Cat.
But he punishes all the dashes, okay?
Oh.
He punishes all the dashes.
And Chris G still beats him. Chris G doesn't play the game and he beats Cat.
Doesn't even need it.
Dude, Chris G would win with any character.
Would he? Why do we? He didn't win with Kenshi. He went to Kenshi and he couldn't get a game on me, and I play Katana. This Kenshi fucking sucks.
He didn't even moves with Kenshi. He didn't even know the moves with Kenshi. Come on.
What about Noob Saibot?
Noob Saibot. His Noob Saibot fucking sucked.
Didn't suck, dude. He won a shitload with Noob.
That corner combo.
Yeah. How many times did we see it? Because he kept winning with him. The dude just is insane at fighting games. Come on.
He's Chris G. Chris G's awesome. I'm a fan, but he can't magically make moves. Reptile's dash is what it is. Force ball is what it is. Chris G's just smart enough to use it correctly. He's not doing his fundamental. I'm tired of that excuse. Oh, it's just these fundamentals. We did that with Green Arrow, and then 7L appeared, and we all were like, oh.
We just went over how it's not. We just went over how it's about not like that player. It's the character being used at its highest potential.
Yeah, but you see, okay, the difference is if Chris G was going on winning everything, I would say okay. But his record was not that good recently. Like, okay, he did really well at VXG, right?
Yeah. He beat the Evo champion.
Yes. Okay.
Let me put it this way. There is a reasonable path that you could argue for Chris G making winners top 8 at Evo, considering the people he's beaten recently. Winners top. He beat CD Jr. this year. He beat Cat this year. He beat Carl this year. Is it out of the question that he could beat Newbie? No. Is it out of the question that he could beat Pig? No. Is it out of the question that he could beat me? No. Like, he could have made top 8 at Evo. And he doesn't play the game!
But he didn't make top 8 at Evo.
I'm just saying, he beats quality of people like that. Considering how serious he takes the game, like every tournament, he'll beat, like every other tournament, he beats someone good.
Yeah, he beats someone good, but he never gets that far.
But we're acting like Chris G's like a hardcore player. Like, imagine if, okay, I get it. It's Chris G, but I think it balances out when you consider the fact that maybe if there was a reptile that actually knew the matchups and knew all the punishes, then that would have been an equalizer.
Let me tell you something about Reptile. Tommy Waffles bodied Chris G at VXG and CEO and a couple other tournaments in the last 6 months. Chris G doesn't know the Smoke matchup. Or does Reptile have no chance against Smoke? You may think Reptile has no chance against Smoke, but I can tell you firsthand, Han's Reptile, which is literally by his own admission modeled after Chris G's, beats the shit out of Waffles. That week, the Tuesday before we flew to St. Martin, Han decisively beat Waffles in the Reptile versus Smoke matchup. Do you think if Chris G didn't have Han's knowledge of the Smoke matchup, he couldn't beat a player the caliber of Tommy? I bet he could.
No, well, I mean, that's a manageable matchup. But like, when has Chris G ever beat like a top Sonya?
He took games on Showtime in 2013.
When?
At Texas Showdown. It was like 3-2.
Okay, but he's never beaten a top Sonya.
He probably doesn't even know how down 4 military works. Like, do you really think he couldn't?
I don't know, man.
If I sat down Chris G, if I said, Chris, I'm going to give you $1 million, and you have 1 week, and you're going to come back, and you need to beat my God. You really don't think he could?
I don't think he could.
I think that's a very poor bet.
I mean, there's just a lot of characters that he's never beaten the top player of. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he gets like top 32 and top 16 at like majors. Like,
yeah,
that's not
he
that
doesn't
impressive.
play the game. It's more impressive than any other Reptile in a year.
Dude, yeah, but he plays the game a lot because he got to play it at every single major.
What?
That
makes no sense at all. Playing the game like once every like once a month at most is not playing the game a lot.
So he plays 8 matches every other month. And he can get top 16. That's nuts. Cat plays Cabal and is dedicated to playing MK9. That's a huge part of his life. He gets his back blown out by Chris G. Carl went to EVO to win it. And 2 weeks later, he got his back blown out by Chris G's Reptile.
Because MK9 is such a fundamentals-based game, and Reptile is a read-based character. Like, if you
so
can
it sounds like he has the tools to win all these matchups.
He has the tools, but the risk-reward is so not in his favor. Like, you have to make so many right guesses for, like, elbow dash, and you have to just make tons of right guesses with that character. But Chris G does, man. Chris G hits more Reptile dashes than I've ever seen anybody hit.
Because he knows when to use it. I mean, I talked to him about Reptile, and he was like, yeah, I don't get it. If they're hitting buttons, you dash. When they stop hitting buttons, I start jumping. I put a forceful on screen. Why isn't this character used more? He didn't get it. I don't get it.
Because there's so many characters that if you make that wrong read, you get blown up for it.
Doesn't he blow you up once he starts getting in?
I mean, he does, like, okay damage. I mean, it's not like he's like, Sonya or Smoke damage or Cyrex damage or something like that. I mean, he gets like 35s area?
It's good enough.
I
So
guess.
basically, this character does pretty well against some of the best in the game, but he loses to... Okay, so far you've said he struggles against Kung Lao and Sonya. Okay.
Okay, Cyrex. Cyrex is an extremely bad matchup. That could be his worst matchup. He just can't do anything. Like, nets control the entire screen. He doesn't have the mobility to get past bombs without, like, risking an elbow dash into a net or into a block.
So far he's losing to the top 3. He's losing to, the absolute best characters in the game.
Yeah, he's losing to all the top characters. I mean, okay, yeah, he goes 4-6 against Kenshi and Cabal, which isn't that bad, but still 4-6. It's still losing matchups. Okay, let's look at the others. Sorry, I had to go look at the character list. So I said Sonya.
I'm a character specialist of a character who gets bodied by 2 characters, has a bunch of 4-6 matchups. I make it work. The sympathy hasn't started yet.
Okay.
Oh, you lose 4-6 to Sonya. Okay.
4-6? No way. That is 7-3.
I'm not sold.
Every top Sonya agrees that it's terrible for Reptile.
Sonya's are the biggest down players. We're getting to that next. You're Sonya downplaying.
Okay, that's old.
Anyway.
Dude, it's an easy 7-3.
I just don't think that there's any good Reptiles.
I agree.
There's just no good reptiles. When our best reptile is a reptile that isn't even in our community, our reptile players suck.
And MIT, when he did play reptiles seriously, thought the character was great. He agreed with basically everything I said.
Wait, if Reptile's so good, why did Showtime and Han not use him in tournament?
Because Han plays Cyrax!
Well, there's always someone better.
And actually, Han did use Reptile against 16-bit and beat him.
And that was the one time he got top 8 in a major. He did use Reptile. I mean, Han is, in my opinion, one of the best Reptile players in the world, and it's Zod. He gets it. I've played a lot of these. Like, in my opinion, Han's Reptile is better than Showtime. I've played both. It is what it is. Like, I'm just saying. Han and Chris G are better than Showtime. I think the result's bad. I thought they got it better than him. I thought he played super honest. He tried to play footsies with Katana. Like, that's not how that works. Like, Chris G and Han, they did what Reptiles should do in that match, and they were pretty hard to beat. So, MIT, like, he thought Reptile was extremely good. Chris G thinks Reptile's extremely good. Clint thought Reptile was extremely good. Clint got top 8 at Rally, partially using Reptile.
Yeah, but then all these people dropped him.
A lot of people dropped Johnny Cage towards the end. There was one Johnny Cage towards the end. And...
No, there was a lot of people that still used Johnny. They just weren't their mains.
Right. And in the end, the one guy that stuck with Johnny Cage won 3 majors, and we now realize he reached that peak, and we now realize Johnny Cage was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well...
There was a lot of people that stuck with Reptile the whole way.
Who?
Tyler Lantern.
Yeah, I guess Tyler Lantern.
Damn, you're blowing him up.
He was super random. He was the epitome of random Reptile. Down 4 slide was like... I saw him do that so much, and it made me, I don't know, just sad.
Muffin Muggers.
Why do you just... You're ruining my day here. Well, okay, for instance, Snubcakes used Reptile the whole time through.
Mm-hmm.
And, let's see. Gosh, sorry, it's just been so long. I had a whole list of everybody who used who used Reptile the whole way through. Joker was another person who used Reptile. I don't know, there wasn't a lot of full tournament players. I mean, Showtime did for a really long time. MIT did. I feel like I'm missing some people heavily. I mean, there's Chris G.
When Chris G's the best of these guys, doesn't that say something about the Reptile players? Like, I'm sorry. How else do you put it? Like, when Chris G's Reptile is doing better than these Reptile mains, is there not, I mean, yeah, Chris G's good, but is there not a point where maybe Chris G's onto something? I mean, I remember I would argue with Joker, and he would tell me I'm an idiot. Learn the matchup. And I'd say, Chris G's beating people that you can't hope to beat using what I'm talking about. And I was told I was an idiot. And then Chris G made, $500 at VXG doing exactly what I was telling Reptile players to do. While Joker's going 1-2 at tournaments. So, I'm sorry if I don't see Joker as being the definitive Reptile player. Am I wrong? Like, is that controversial? The results speak for themselves.
Damn.
Maybe Chris G was onto something. Maybe they were wrong. Maybe they should have been more like Chris G. Maybe instead of being scared to dash, maybe you realize that's the character and you go fucking do it and you beat top players.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, I mean, that's the key. But you can't make that many wrong reads. Like, okay, if you hit a dash, you scare them and you get like 11%. But man, towards the end of the game, I'm telling you, you hit those top characters, and if you
11%, but momentum, they're knocked down.
But what happens if it gets blocked? 2-1 spin into like a 41% combo for a bar.
I mean, 11% could easily turn into half-life or 20% or something like.
Yeah, but it can also easily, like, if you're fighting Cyrax, you can make 7, 8 right guesses and then make one wrong guess.
Okay, that's
you
Cyrex
lose.
versus everyone.
That's Cyrex versus you're talking to a Scorpion player.
Yeah.
Okay, but I mean, like, again, go to Sonya. You can make, 7 or 8 right guesses. You make 2 wrong ones, you lose.
That's Sonya.
Exactly. That's the point, man. That's the
Okay,
point. You can't just say.
we've decided that
that's the monster.
Cyrax and Sonya are better
yeah.
than Reptile. Oh, let's shit ourselves.
Yeah, like, okay.
The top characters.
You know who else Cyrex and Sonya are better than? Katana. Like, okay. Everybody else in the game except Kabal and Kenshi. So far we've established that Reptile is not top 5, okay?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
where is he? Is he top 10?
Probably.
I think he's in the top 10 conversation. That group that includes Shang
I think
Tsung,
he's like 11.
Liu Kang, those the top 10 conversation.
I think he's just hard to classify because he does really do super well against a lot of the cast. Like, I can't downplay that. Like, you put Reptile against, I don't know, Jax, and that's a 5-5. That's a really, that's a good match for Reptile relatively. You put him against, let me look, Raiden. It's not a bad matchup at all, and Raiden's
Katana?
relatively good.
One of the most prominent top 8 characters, Katana, he does well against. At a
He-
minimum, it's an even match. Like, that's the absolute, that down players are like, that's an even match.
Yeah, I think it's even, honestly.
So
But,
that's
I mean-
pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, there are characters that he can handle, but like, there are also, man, there's some bad matchups. I mean, let's go back to his really bad matchups, right? Like, Freddy's really bad for him.
Chris G nearly beat M2 Dave at EVO 2012.
Okay, but he didn't.
Do you think Chris G, when M2 Dave sat down, I bet Chris G was like, is that Freddy Krueger? He's in this game? What the fuck's going on? And he's nearly won.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's a really bad matchup. You can't just keep saying, well, Chris G almost beat this guy, Chris G almost beat that guy, so it's not a bad matchup.
I'm just saying, how bad could it be?
Okay, imagine you can't dash block and you have to get through Freddy's zoning.
I mean, I don't play this match, but I've heard many times it's not that bad
From
for
who?
Reptile players.
From who?
I don't remember.
Okay. Then I don't know if that counts then. Dude, it's really bad. I mean, he has to elbow dash, hoping that there's like a spike coming, basically, right?
Okay.
But I mean, otherwise, if he just does straight, I mean, what does Reptile do? He can't duck a straight and then elbow dash in. He gets hit by the next straight. He has to like duck, walk slightly, duck, walk slightly, duck, walk slightly, and hope that like he doesn't do straight on whiff, do a ground claw. It's really bad, and like
Why can't
Freddy-
he jump?
he sort of can, but then he has to like respect the ground claw as soon as like he lands.
So he
It kind
blocks
of
the
depends on
ground
the
claw,
space.
then why can't he dash after that?
Because if you block a ground claw and you dash, you run into a straight claw.
I thought he was negative on a claw.
He is, but like, there's enough active frames on like, they're not active frames, but like recovery frames on a dash that you'll run into it. Just try the match out sometimes. It's a huge bitch.
Why would I try that match out?
Well, okay, then don't. Or then take my word for it.
Well,
I
okay,
mean-
so he might struggle against Freddy. We're back to
Okay.
what's the point where he is not like one of the top 10? Like,
Well, I'm gonna keep going, man. I'm
Okay.
gonna keep going. There's way more.
okay,
There's not way more, but there's more. Okay, Johnny Cage.
okay.
What?
Why?
Why
Because-
is that bad?
Okay. I'm surprised you guys are so surprised about that. His down pokes are slower than the normal characters, first of all. So like
It's down 3, it's 7 frames. Or is it 8? I can't
It's
remember.
not. It's 8.
Okay, that's still fast enough to poke out a Cage's pressure.
Yeah, but it's 8 and it's really short. So sometimes forward 3 will just like crush it.
Hold
I
on.
remember we
Like,
had this discussion.
how bad do you think this is?
It's like 6-4. Like, if Reptile can keep the momentum going, then he can do okay. But like, it's probably like 6-4. It could be. It kind of depends on the level, though. It's one of
That's
those level
not that
matchups. Like, if you're on a short level, it's probably...
Yeah, you're
like,
acting like these matchups are like 7-3s.
Well, the other ones are. I'm just going on the list of bad matchups, like, from top characters.
But
4-6
no,
isn't
hold on.
bad.
I'm not done. What's wrong with his down 3 against Johnny Cage?
That's true, actually. Why?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Well, okay, from, like... If he just does forward 3, sometimes you can down 3 out.
Why can't you just dash?
Yeah.
Why
Elbow
can't you just
dash.
dash?
Because then you're again, it's this risk reward that you're losing.
In other words, the same risk reward almost everyone does when they try to poke out of Cage's pressure. Like, either he it's instead of counter poking, you block. It's pressure or block versus pressure or counter poking. Like, I also can get fucked if he reads my poke.
Yeah, but if you down 3, then the max he can do is block it and then start pressure again.
Which means if I'm down 3 and then blocking because I think he might be counter poking, like, then I don't even get the advantage of my down 3 hitting because I have to be prepared to block if I think he's going to do that. Or then I have to start jumping or...
Oh, okay. In fact, that's a good thing you brought up. But if you down 3 with Reptile, you get basically nothing guaranteed.
Well, that's why you should dash.
Yeah, I would just dash.
Yeah.
You
Fuck
do,
it.
but the risk reward is just so bad.
It's basically the same as almost everyone else trying
It's
to get out of
not.
I'd rather have that.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a dash than my shit down 1. I'd rather at least
Okay.
fuck him for getting out of it.
No. Well, Scorpion, okay, that shit sucks, okay? So, we don't get to play the comparison game because, yeah, Scorpion gets fucked way more than...
Okay, even still, like, if I'm gonna get out of his pressure, I at least want something.
Yeah.
I'd be happy getting 11%, and then I get to zone, like, and what if I have an EX dash? Then I'm completely safe.
Well, he could blow that up with the EX Nut Punch.
Well,
but-
now we're doing two different
right,
things.
yeah, now we have a metagame going.
How is that bad? And he zones them out?
Well, the EX Nut Punch, the EX Dash thing, it's not really like a meta game. It's just, it gets blown up on reaction. Every time.
I don't know about that.
Dude, I play, Satsui. He gets me every time. I can't do it at all.
I mean, I think if he's sitting there looking for it, that's your cue to start jumping and doing other shit, and it's gonna work.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's
But
how
it's-
Cage works.
it's still the same thing. I mean, it's the same thing as like a down 3, but still the risk reward is just so low.
I mean, that's just Cage.
That's Cage.
Yeah, okay.
You got Cage.
That still just makes it bad. That still makes it bad.
Okay, I mean, anyone versus Cage up close, it's bad.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, but then there's also characters that have like standing normals that are fast enough to beat a forward 3.
Yeah.
So that makes it way better for them, you know, like Cabal could standing 2 or Cyrix can standing 1, but Reptile doesn't have anything like that.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, it just.
I mean, they still get. I mean, those can be blown up by like down 3s and shit. Like, he has answers for that.
Yeah, but
At least against like on Johnny Cage, you gotta choose what poke you gotta use. Otherwise, you're stuck using down 1s and down 3s, which don't do shit even when you hit them. So it's like you want to do standing normals, like a standing 2 or something, but then he just stops his pressure in down 3s and shit. And
Yeah, but when somebody does something like if you do Cabal stand 2, like you look at the risk reward, like what's the risk? The risk is that he like
he's
down
still
3.
in.
get down 3 you. Yeah, but that's the risk, and the reward is you get a full combo. That's like relatively
Everyone agrees
good.
Cabal does better against Johnny Cage than Reptile.
Yeah, okay. I'm just saying, like Reptile doesn't have any of the good options. Like he has to take huge risks in the matchup, like forever.
Hold on a second. Hey! What do you think of Reptile versus Cage?
Oh shit.
How bad? Is it that bad?
She agreed with Chef.
Okay.
That's a blow up.
How is that a blow up?
How bad did he say?
He said not that bad, it's just 6'4".
Yeah, bullshit.
That's what he said! Hold on. Speak really loud. How bad? How bad, though? Alright, could you hear that?
No.
No.
He yelled at me and said, leave me alone, it's not that bad. 6'4", though.
I don't know. It's.
So we have a character, and they lose to Cabal, Kenshi, Sonya, Freddy, and Johnny Cage.
And Cyrax and Lau.
These are manageable.
But they do better.
A lot of these are manageable.
What's better? To beat Katana, where you lose to Cabal and you get destroyed by Kenshi? And then you also lose to Sonya and Freddy and Cage? Or one other character who maybe has one or two more that they lose, but does better against other characters? It sounds like it kind of evens out.
No. I mean, a lot of these are just, like, absolutely destroying matchups.
Hold on. Like what?
Like Sonya.
Hold on. What do you think of Sonya versus
And
Red
Cyrax.
Why am I asking you? Never mind.
Cyrax, too. Man, Cyrax. It's so
Never
terrible.
mind. Alright. Okay, continue. Is that it?
No way. Liu Kang.
Why?
Liu Kang's really bad. He completely has Reptile. Completely. First of all. Right? And he beats him in the up-close game. And the footsies game. There's just nowhere that Reptile's comfortable.
How does he win the footsies game?
Yeah.
Back 3 totally beats down 4.
Why doesn't he just dash?
I mean, you can, but, like, you can't just always dash in footsies. Like, you have to outplay the other person by, like, 4 times. Like...
I disagree. I mean, if you get him scared to dash, there's no telling what your pressure accumulates to. You get him scared to dash, you get a jump in, and then you get pressure, and then that's the good thing about his pressure. Like, he does pressure, and if he throws you, and then he throws you, and then he starts momentum with a force ball, and then he gets back in, pressure, throw, force ball, pressure, then you try and get out, and then you get the combo. Like,
well, no. One thing
all
I would say
because you respected the dash.
You can't get a free jump in because someone's respecting dash. They'll block, but if you jump, they can still anti-air you. They're not like, oh god, he's gonna dash from the air.
I don't know about that.
Dude, why wouldn't you anti-air still if you're respecting dash? That means you're sitting there waiting for something. So if you see a jump, you're definitely going to be waiting for it.
I mean, obviously you're going to be anti-aired sometimes, but you see in Chris G's matches.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. I don't see someone blocking, and then they see Chris G jump, and then they anti-air him. I rarely see that.
Yeah, that's how Chris G beats people. I remember at Final Round, Cat actually talked about that. He was like, yeah, so that actually works.
Just
like he was
jumping?
like didn't respect his jumping and just got blown up. Like that's what causes.
I think that's partially why Chris G does so well, is because Reptile, you don't need to learn the fundamentals. You don't need to learn dash blocking. You don't need to learn footsies. All his game is spelled out for you once he gets within dash range. It's either dash or jump. And he just limits it to that, and then that's why he does so well. Like, he gets it.
I get people scared of 4-2-1 and 4-2-1 and 2-1, and I start jumping like crazy. You ever seen how much I jump? People's anti-air is vastly overrated in this game. You're not anti-airing me. And if you are, then I start dashing up and throwing you or doing 2-1 or whatever. Like, people talk on TYM about, oh, I do this and this and this, and I'm ready to anti-air them. Bullshit. No, you don't.
Yeah, but at least you get jump kick air fan.
Yeah, you have jump kick fan.
Well, and he has other shit too. I'm just saying.
Like what? In the air? What does Reptile have?
He gets a jump kick and then he sets up his force balls. That's what he does. If you start doing that.
He can get a force ball. If you're sitting there, he can get a force ball out. He can dash.
Against some characters.
He can walk up. Just walk up. He has down 4. Then once he gets a force ball, it's party time for Reptile.
Yeah, some characters can just disrespect it, though.
Well, I mean, some character, like, no one's saying he's like a top 5 beast.
Okay.
You can disrespect it.
Like, a lot of setups, Cyrex can disrespect it and just teleport. And,
Well, I mean, sometimes you gotta use a force ball to bait people's teleports.
well, yeah, but I mean, some of them he can get through safe, which is a bitch. Or Raiden. Or like, characters that can beat on reaction, like, Laos can teleport on reaction, freaking Sectors, obviously. That one's really easy. Cabals can sometimes meter burn dash through it, or meter burn, and dash through it.
I don't know about that. I don't think Reptile's used his invisibility to like fake his projectiles enough.
That's a good point. Invisibility, yeah, they never use that.
Like, you just use invisibility to fake that you're doing a projectile, and then they start throwing out teleports.
I don't know, man. Invisibility's got, like, decent recovery, too.
It's super recovery.
Dude, it's not that fast.
What? You can't see. There is no way on God's given earth you see him do invisibility and you punish it. Absolutely not.
Well, no, I'm not saying you're gonna punish it, but you're not gonna be able to, like, use it and then, like, punish a Raiden teleport in reaction or something.
But, yeah, he teleports, but, I mean, and then you're ready for him to teleport, and then you get pressure and shit.
Or he gets pressure.
If I'm baiting it, then I want him to do that.
Yeah, but you're not gonna be recovered in time.
You're using his reactions against him.
Yeah, I know,
He's
but
gonna be
invisibility doesn't recover
He's not going
that
to
fast.
be teleporting on the same frame that you're going to be turning invisible. He's going to turn invisible. He's going to be like, "Oh, there it is. You've already recovered," and then he teleports. That's
Yeah,
how
but
it works.
Dude, invisibility isn't that fast. It's not like it just recovers instantly and you can just, like, turn around and punch them as they teleport.
I beg to differ. It recovers very, very quickly.
I mean, it recovers quicker than, like, a force ball, but
It recovers quicker than his spit and his force ball easily. It recovers.
that's because they have shit recovery, though.
It recovers, I'd say, better than Cyrax's bomb.
No, it doesn't.
I would definitely say so.
I would guarantee it doesn't.
I guarantee it does.
Well, someone make a video.
We need somberness.
Someone post in this thread.
Somberness needs to let us know.
I think he's
with
dead.
recovery.
Somberness is gone.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I think he died. So is this it for the Reptile unwinnable matchups? Like, do you have more?
No, of course I have more. Oh, Molina.
Get
Terrible.
the fuck out. That's bullshit. That's
No, it's not.
Even THTV stopped saying that. Come
Dude,
on.
THTV is a fucking idiot. He doesn't even play the game.
Damn.
When's the last time THTV played in a tournament and was relevant in any game?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
want to blow someone else
never.
up for that too. I want to blow someone else up for that too.
Blow
This guy, KT Smith, he goes into the smoke forums the other day. He comes out of the mothballs, and he's like, I always knew this character was overrated. This community never bothered to learn the matchup. Shut the fuck up. You quit the game in March of 2012. MLG Columbus was the last time you were relevant, where you barely placed top 8 because you barely squeaked by beating into Dave with Smoke. And you're going to lecture us about Smoke? Shut up. You quit the game long before it reached its prime. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And you were never the best Smoke. Waffles was, and he far surpassed you with many, many top 8s, many quality wins, and even won a major with Smoke. And here in Chicago, we know the Smoke matchup. Believe me, because Tommy can't win a fucking local. We know the Smoke matchup. And we all rank him as one of the absolute best characters in Mortal Kombat, which was shown time and time again with Waffles. Shut the fuck up. You're not part of this community. You don't play this game. So don't come into a thread and go, this community never learned the matchup. Maybe your Smoke fucking sucked. Maybe your Smoke was underdeveloped, and that's why Smoke wasn't very good to you.
God damn. And that was the 16-bit blow-up of the week.
That was beautiful, man.
You're right, though. The THTB did do the same thing. For 2 years, the guy quit in 2011. 2011!
You know what the worst thing is? The worst thing is not only was he going in and talking about matchups, all he would do was talk about how he didn't play the game anymore. He'd tweet like, "Oh man, I haven't played this game for a long time," and then he'd immediately go into the forums and be like, "No guys, Reptile versus Kung Lao is easily 7-3 Reptile's favor. You guys don't know the matchup." It's like, dude, seriously, come on.
I agree. All these guys that don't even play the game, acting like matchup cops, are unbearable.
I think it's gotten worse in
I
Injustice.
Agree. Absolutely. The matchup police, I want to rant about something. This community is absolutely...
About something? You've already ranted.
You just ranted.
This community is absolutely obsessed with matchup numbers. Now, I love matchup numbers. God knows, one of my favorite pastimes is going to Tony's Diners after GGA and going on and on about matchup numbers. Whenever I lose, it's automatically losing matchup and all that. We all love that. We love exaggerating. But at the end of the day, I do my research, and I try to develop these matchups. I go on TYM, I post my findings, I talk to my training partners and all that. There is an epidemic on TYM right now, an epidemic where it is literally nothing but matchup numbers. Not substance, not discussion, just arguing about what the number is. Like that fucking matters. I go to two forums mostly, Killer Frost and Catwoman, and the Killer Frost community has turned into nothing but arguing about what the matchup numbers are. And it's all very vague, very basic talking points that anyone can figure out. For example, you'll have Chaotic and Ribs rule that forum, and all they do is go in and go, Killer Frost wins up close, she has a Vortex, she has Iceberg, 6-4 Killer Frost, and if you haven't played me, you don't know. LOL. Well, what the fuck? Who gives a shit? If you're trying to learn the game, and you're trying to learn a matchup, what the fuck does it do to hear Killer Frost wins up close, Iceberg, if you haven't played me, you just don't know. LOL. Now last year, I got accused of doing this in the Katana forums, and I look back, and there's kind of truth to that. But at least I would post why in more detail, and more importantly, I had 2 years of experience playing against some of the best in the world regularly. I'm not saying you should have your opinion, and that's cool. But I'd like more substance than just arguing about the numbers, because at the end of the day, that doesn't fucking matter. If you're going into tournament with her, you need to know why the match is 4-6 or 6-4. And Ribs, I'm on to you, sir. I know you made a bunch of threads today with more detail, and that's because I told you I was going to blow you up for this on Facebook. So don't think I didn't know that and wouldn't point that out here. All right, you can't cover your tracks by posting more substance today because you knew you were going to get blown up. Hold that shit. But I go to the Catwoman forums, and they're the opposite of this. There's almost no discussion about matchup numbers. Like, when I lost the Max Intensity Bane, I went on that forum, and I was like, what do you guys think? What should I be doing here? Here's what I've found so far. And there were like 4 or 5 threads or a post just talking about the meta game. No one came in and was like, don't worry about it, it's 4-6 Bane, there's nothing you can do. Or this is even, just keep playing it, and you'll see that it's even. Because that doesn't help me at all. What the hell is that going to help me against Max the next week? Oh, it's 6-4 Bane. I might as well give up. No, I want to know what is going on. The other week, they were talking in the Deathstroke forums, and someone had to bring in Slips to talk about Killer Frost versus Deathstroke. I don't play Frost, and he doesn't play Deathstroke anymore, and he posted more substance than the actual Frost and Deathstroke players. It's not just Killer Frost. I'm just blowing those people up because that's the one I go to. The others are just as bad. I would like to see more substance and less matchup policing, because that shit doesn't help anyone. And this game has a great training mode. There's no excuse not to be finding shit almost every day. Literally, I would say every other day I find something, some minutia to a matchup that I didn't know before, and I go and post it. The Catwoman forums are tremendous. Bone, Reborn, Solid. There's a ton of guys there who post good information on a
Shout
regular
out to
basis.
Solid, by the way. He's one of my favorite posters.
Yes,
I love Solid.
His stuff in the Catwoman forums is very good. There's a ton of good information in the Catwoman forums. Catwoman forums is like perfect. I love that community. Way to go, Catwoman.
What's the worst Injustice forums?
I don't know. All I'm saying is, instead of getting mad at me, think about what I'm saying. And I like to see more discussion. Like there's been a ton of arguing about Aquaman versus Killer Frost, and almost none of it actually discusses the meta. It's all like, it's 6-4, she out-turtles him. And then Tom comes in and he's like, fools, it's even. And then like, we played online and I won. fool, it's 6-4. Then Tom's like, fool, online doesn't count. It's 5-5. What? Who gives a shit? If I want to go back to Killer Frost and beat Sunk, I don't give a fuck about what Tom is doing online. I don't want to just hear Killer Frost wins up close. When you block a slide, what happens? What is Aquaman's options? If he does back 1-2, can I backdash that? Can I jump out? If I backdash, what are his options? Let's lay out the flow charts here. Instead of just saying, she wins up close, hold that.
I actually know all those answers.
Well, good. So do I.
Yeah, I never heard, the matchup number shit. I've never seen so much obsession for it until I came to the MK community. And people spout matchup numbers, literally after one set.
Yes, that's
it's amazing to me. Back in my day, there was no talk of matchup numbers until after a month maybe of playing. I'd play, Tekken, and we wouldn't talk about advantage or not until it was thoroughly fleshed out. And it's I don't get it. I'll play one set with someone, they'll be like, "Oh, this is obviously in your favor." It's okay, you're not punishing A, B, and C. You're not avoiding this at all. You're not doing this. I'm not punishing maybe 50% of your shit. We're not even playing. This isn't there is no matchup number here. This is us learning our fucking characters and just learning the basics. There's no discussion of match. When you can punish everything, when you know your options after every blocked move, and when you get hit by shit, you know your options. Can you backdash? Can you match down one? Can you armor? Can you jump out? When you know all that shit, and you see the risk rewards not in your favor in all these situations versus all these situations, then you can start talking about matchup numbers. But when you've got all this damage on the table that you're leaving, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about actually learning to play the goddamn game, figure out what the hell you're doing, and then once all that's fleshed out, then we can talk about it. But there's no point in talking about fucking matchup numbers when neither one of us are fucking playing the matchup. We're just playing our fucking characters. God damn, I hate that shit. It pisses me off. Can't we just play? Why can't we just play the goddamn game? It's fucking stupid.
You're way too worked up about it.
I hate that shit.
That's TYO.
You need to breathe, man. You sound like you're not breathing.
I hate it.
Now, yeah, again, people are going to say, but Steve, you do the same thing at Tony's. Isn't all your conversations about Tommy based on nothing but matchup numbers? And that's true. And it's fun, so I get the appeal. But I literally call it a process where when I'm losing to something, or even if I'm winning, I spout off the numbers and shit. That's my way of venting. While I'm working on the match, I'll talk. Let's say Slips picks up a new character, and I don't know what the hell's going on. He'll be beating my Catwoman. And I'll be sitting there going, this is obviously a bad match. Catwoman's bottom 5. You're such an idiot. She's so bad. This is 7-3 probably. But I'm also doing what you need to be doing, and this is just my way of venting that frustration. A lot of people on TYM seem to just stop at that. That's it. It doesn't get farther than that. It's natural, and I also don't air that process on TYM for the most part. I don't think, other than when I've asked, and I make sure to say I'm not really sure, I don't think I posted a single Catwoman matchup number since I started playing her 3 months ago. Because I don't know. I only know when I'm fucking salty and not rational, but other than that, I don't know any of these fucking matchup numbers. Nor do I think they matter. People will ask me, and I think she's all I'm playing in tournament. She's my girl, I'm using her, so it doesn't really matter. What matters is the minutia. What matters is the details, because I'm trying to win. And if it's 4-6 or 5-5, it doesn't make a fucking difference to me. I just need to know all the information. And I'd like to see more of that.
That's half the reason I don't even I hardly even post on TYM because no one knows what the hell they're talking about.
Well,
You're not gonna whatever I put forth. I know I'm not gonna get back. So why the hell should I even bother? It's stupid.
well, also like one big thing that I've noticed a lot more with Injustice and MK is there are a lot more casual players on TYM right now that want to talk about the game, but like just don't play it. I mean, the biggest case of this, I think, was post this patch. How the patch came out, and for the next week, everybody was like, oh yeah, Black Adam's low tier now, and Superman
Yes.
he's mid tier. And we, like, 2 weeks in, they're still saying the same thing, and it's like, they haven't played him yet. Like, it's very clear that, I mean, obviously that they're not as good as they were, but they're still obviously top tier, both characters. So, like, you can see that, and you can say, wow, these people are literally not playing the game, but they're talking about matchup numbers as if they were. Because there's no way you can play against Black Adam now and be like, oh yeah, he's low tier. You know? There's no way. So, like, there are a lot of people on TYM now that just literally aren't playing the game, but they're like, taking part in discussions. It's really weird. Like, I'm sure there was some of that with MK9, but it was harder to tell, because there wasn't as many. But you see it all day now. Or
Also, anyway, sorry, continue.
Alright. Also, there's people that just, like, a lot of them, the people that don't play the game, they just dick ride whatever a good player says. Like, to sort of put Pig on blast a little bit, but not really, because I love him. Zod is getting overrated to hell right now. He's a very good character, right? But Pig does his thing where he goes and he says all the matches are super good with Zod, and I don't think they're quite that good. Like, he could very well be top 5, but now, have you noticed there's a lot more people putting Zod in, like, top 3 than there was, like, like a month ago? But nothing's changed, really.
How good do you think Zod is?
I don't know. He's good. He's a very good character.
I think he's the best in the game.
You think he's the best?
I think he's the best.
I don't think he's the best.
I think he's going to take the most work to figure out, though.
He doesn't have a few things.
What's his problem?
Like, well, he doesn't have any footsies tools. So you have to play him like, I don't know. You have to play him Injustice style, where you just outspace them and use special moves. But there's a lot of characters that can kind of force you into footsies wars, like Superman, where like you have to react to dashes and like with punish to dashes, or like Aquaman, and he kind of can't deal with that. He's also got like weak anti-airs, so you just have to like play the spacing game a lot.
Oh, what about his down 2?
It's really bad.
What? Get
Dude,
the fuck out of here! It's the second best down 2 in the game.
Second best?
Second best.
No way. Okay, go. Second. It's not even close to second best. Go record Doomsday, right? Just have him do a body splash. It's active the entire time. Now take Zod's down 2. See how many times in a row you can anti-air him without trading, or even with trading. See how many times in a row.
It's fucking Doomsday though.
Yeah, but I can name you like 5, 6, way more than that. Probably characters that can anti-air him consistently.
Dude, he
like
gets down to a lot of jump-ins.
Yeah, a lot of like below average jump-ins, but like if you get Batman jump 2 or like Deathstroke jump 3 or like, Doomsday body splash, Aquaman jump 2, just stuff like that. Joker jumps. He just can't do it. He can't do it at all. It's not like it's pretty bad.
What do you think Zod's worst matchups are?
Aquaman. Definitely is probably his worst. But Aquaman's bad, for sure. This is the one thing all Zods agree on. I think Grundy's bad.
Grundy?
Yeah. Because he doesn't have to respect anything of Zod's.
I don't know about that.
I don't know, man.
I mean, maybe you're judging him by Tyrant, though.
Well, isn't that what it should be based on? I mean, K7, what are you basing your Grundy matchup number on?
What do you mean? I don't play Zod.
I'm just saying. I mean, I don't understand the point of saying.
Well, it's all relative. I mean, I judge my Zod based on Pig. He judges his Grundy based on Tyrant. So it's all relative.
In other words, the best Grundy in the world, most likely.
Yeah.
So isn't that good?
Yeah, but not all Grundys are on that level.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
The
why
question is Pig's Zod better than Chef's?
I think we're both good at different aspects. But, different aspects.
I mean,
So
that's just
it's hard to
something
tell.
we'll just have to... Who knows? That's one of those, I don't know. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Like, he doesn't use instant Zod balls. That's like a big deal. That's a really big deal. Really big deal. And, yeah, like, that's one of the reasons why I think he hates the Sinestro matchup, is there's a lot of situations where you're at enough advantage to just do an instant Zod ball, and it lets you control the screen, but he needs to start doing those more, and I don't know, it's just different. But I mean, he doesn't have a really high level Grundy to play against. And I mean, me and Pig, we got to be close, you know. If one of us is better, like, we got to be sort of close. And I do have a high level Grundy to play against. So I feel like, as far as judging high level Zod versus high level Grundy, I have a good situation to do that.
What character do you usually use against Tyrant?
I use a lot. Like, recently I've been using a lot of Lex against him and Green Lantern.
How do you do against them?
He usually beats my Lex, but it's close. It's always close. Lex is one of my newer characters. Green Lantern, I'd say we've gone about even. He might have beaten me a little bit more. But, yeah, close to even with Green Lantern.
I do know in tournament you've beaten many times, though.
Him? I wouldn't say many. We haven't played that many times in tournament. And most of them were Superman, so.
Okay.
So we must have played. I mean, he's beaten my Zod like 4 or 5 times. No, like 4 times. But then Green Lantern, yeah, I think we're like even. Green Lantern versus Grundy. And,
my point is you can hang with them. It's not
a
situation where he's like so much better than you that he's going to beat you in every matchup. You can hang with him.
Yeah. I mean, like, when I use Lex or Green Lantern, like, you know, even when I use Lex, it's close. It feels really close. But when I use Zod, there's just not a lot you can do. You have to try to outzone him the whole time. But, like, you also have to deal with his armor. Like, you can't just throw out meter burn ground lasers to push them back and get the chip. Because if he armors through, he kills you. Because you're just sitting there whiffing the laser. And he just walks up to you and bops you. So, like, you can't do that. You can't, Trait just doesn't give a shit about Grundy. Or Grundy doesn't give a shit about Trait, I should say. I said that backwards. I'm tired. I mean, it's just hard, man. Like, especially when you have a Grundy who's really good at air throws, because you just cannot get out of the corner. There's just no way. Like, if you jump over him, just whoop right back in. 5-frame air invincible air throw. Like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's bad. Him and Aquaman are the ones I really don't like.
All right, let's talk about Aquaman, because I have a bone to pick with you here. What's with you saying Aquaman is not good?
No. I never said Aquaman's not good.
You think he's
Okay.
overrated?
Yeah, okay. Well, specifically pre-patch, like a few patches ago, everybody was like, Aquaman's the best in the game. Or top 3. You know, like he's one of easily tied for the best, is basically what people were saying, you know? Like, especially right around when Tom won, ECT with him.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's like, Aquaman's cheap. Aquaman's the cheapest in the game. But I was saying, no, he's not. He's not close to the top right now. Like, I mean, he's close to the top in terms of numbers, but like, he didn't compare to Superman or Black Adam. He just didn't. Like, nobody did, I don't think.
Specifically, you've said Catwoman beats Aquaman. You're literally the only person I've ever heard that thinks that. Even Sunk doesn't think that.
Well, if Sunk doesn't think it, if Sunk thinks it's the other way around, then you know I'm right.
What? I'm just saying, make your case. That's very controversial.
All right, we're talking about that. I mean, it's close. It's close. All right, I'm not saying it's like a dominating matchup, definitely, but okay, like as far as things go, forward 1 is really effective against him.
Why?
It outranges back 1 too.
On hit, she doesn't even get a combo.
You sort of can.
Isn't that kind of a big deal?
It is a sort of big deal, but like Crazy's really good at mixing up. Like he'll do like forward 1, forward 1 2, or forward 1 1, like forward 1, back 1 2. Like I clearly said all those wrong, but he mixes up the high lows a lot and staggers like MK strings, and he tends to catch me out of a lot of shit.
I mean,
like you can get pressure, just pressure from getting a hit, you know.
How, if he's just walking back, he's turtling, how is she even supposed to get that game started?
You just walk up to him, or like you space out a jump too.
I mean, there's like he's just holding back. How you need what's the other option? Like he blocks it, and now she's negative, and he gets a down 1 check. Like
blocks what, the jump 2?
Let's say, all right, from max range jump 2, where he can't down 2 it, she doesn't get much for mix-ups. Like, you're basically in the same guessing game you are when he's just walking backwards.
Yeah, but you get to touch him at least. Like, you get a forward 1.
What's that supposed to do against Aquaman? Like, if you hit him, you can't go into a combo. He's going to use his trait. If he blocks it, he's at advantage, and he begins his game.
Well, no, if you hit him, you can do whip into cat dash.
That's full combo punishable. Like, so you have to do forward 1, cat dash, and footsies?
No. I mean, if you hit the whip, you can go straight into cat dash. Crazy, he confirms that all the time. At first, I thought he was just being random, but
Wait, what are you talking about?
he does whip, cat dash, just jump 2, cat dash.
Oh, you can trait that. Like, you can see that the jump 2 is going to hit you, and then trait it and block it and punish it.
I don't know, man. That would have to be super tight. That would have to be really fast reactions.
My training partner could do it. Like, that shit gets me bodied.
The reactions to do the cat dash is going to be the same reactions as him that hit the trait.
Right.
Yeah, but you have to, like, trait before the jump 2 hits.
No. Like, you're going to see, like, if you've done from the deep.
You're both going to know that you made a mistake.
Right.
Okay, well then, you can just play, like, a pressure system. Like, just like I said, like, you see Crazy all the time. He'll do, like, forward 1, back 1 2, forward 1 again. Just, like, staggering his strings and make them waste the trait and then pressure them. And then try to hit confirm once trait's on cooldown.
If you block a forward 1 and then do back 1, he interrupts that. Like, you gotta do, like, down 1 claws, which he can trait. Like, I mean, her main conditioning tool to stop people from mashing is down 1 cat claws, which he can trait. So, like, forward 1, that pressure, he doesn't have to fear her main conditioning tool to get you to stop mashing.
Yeah, but I mean, you can stagger those strings, like
from max range. After you block a forward 1, you're not even in range to do a back 1. There is no load of fear there.
Yeah, but he can keep going parts in the string.
You can, other than the forward 1 by itself, it's all disadvantage and it all has no gap. Like Aquaman could just mash and her pressure's over. Not only is her pressure over, she has to block a Tau 1 Fury into 15% chip.
Yeah, if she staggers her
strings,
sucks. If she staggers her strings, he pretty much gets down 1 Trident for free.
Yeah, for free. That stuff sucks.
I don't know, man. Everybody falls for the crazy string stagger. It's really hard to react to.
There's no reacting. You're literally just mash. Like if you
can he just like do a move and then whiff punish you? Whiff punish the down 1?
If she does forward 1-1, he's mashing down 1. If he staggers it, she gets blown up.
Let me go check. I'm gonna check right now.
Forward 1 is the only one that's advantage, and has a gap where if they mash, they get blown up. But from that range, there's no real mix-up. Like, holding back, what is she supposed to do, low whip?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is low whip punishable by from the deep? I don't
Yes.
actually know that.
Yes.
Okay, I assume so, but
From Aquaman holding back is a huge problem against her.
I don't know, I mean, you could just try to get pressure. I mean,
What's the mix-up? Like, you tell me.
like, what if you get in and you can do like 1-4-2? Like,
Once you're in back 1-2 range. Like, what's getting in it? Down 1 outranges every forward 1's the only thing she has that doesn't get outranged by back 1-2 and down 1. And both on block lead to a shitload of chip. And after the chip is over, she either has to push block to avoid that chip, then you're out again. Or on block, he's like minus 11 or whatever, but he's pushed back out of her range. She's back in that same shite range where him holding back is super uncomfortable for her. And from that range, her main tool, she gets mainly what she does against characters that don't have good anti-airs is it's pretty similar to Katana. She gets you afraid of forward 1, afraid of dash up, afraid of that shit, and then she starts jumping like crazy. From that range, she can't jump, she can't dash. All she has is forward 1, which doesn't really lead to much. Like, what is she going to do? Forward 1 into throw? Does 11% and knocks him into the range he wants to be?
well, I mean, he also has to like get something started. You know, he has to get the damage on you. It's not like he can just always have the life lead and always like walk back.
That's true.
And okay, one of the big things. I mean, okay. Like, I'm not saying like she just dominates him only in the neutral game, but like his wake up game is pretty weak.
I agree. She definitely can exploit that, and that is why that match is winnable. I agree, but let's say she's trying to jump and he hits her with a back 2 and he gets 40% and he starts walking back. That's a nightmare. That's way more of a nightmare than like her hitting like a meter burn back 3 at the start of the round or whatever. Like, and then he guesses right and he's done and he's down like 30% or whatever. You can make that up, I think, easier than she can. I mean, his trait is so good in that match. Like, down 1 claws is eliminated, forward 1, like, it messes up her Oki. She has to, if she gets a knockdown and he has trait on, let's say she gets her knockdown, he puts trait on and starts walking back. What are her options? She can do the meter burn cat dash cross up, which is full combo punishable. Wake up attacks are, I want him to do wake up attacks. Preemptive trait and walk back is harder to deal with. What is her low from that scenario? She has to do the cross up, because she can't do back 1 into anything safe. What's she going to do back 1 cat? No, she can't even actually. She can't even do YOLO back 1 cat dash if he's preemptive traits. She literally just can't low launch him. She'd have to do, like, sweep.
Well, okay, if he preemptive traits on a knockdown, you could do something like, what if you did like jump 3, 1, forward 2, maybe, and then you started going for like, I don't know, like 50-50s, like, or you could.
What's the 50-50?
The forward or low. I mean, that should take up most of his trade time.
I mean, he's preemptive trait. Like, what's the 50? You do a jump and then what's the 50-50?
You do jump 1, forward 2, and then you're plus, right? You're heavily plus.
No, you're plus 1. You mean, wait, do you mean it hit or he blocked it?
Block 1, forward 2.
He's plus. Wait, 1, forward 2? No, she's a disadvantage.
No, she's not.
Yes, 1, forward 2 is disadvantage on block.
The one that was the block infinite?
Oh, 1, forward 2. All right, she's like plus 3 or whatever with pushback. Now what?
Well,
she's
got the game where she does 1, forward 2, and then down 1, or she can do 1, forward 2, 1, forward 2. I mean, she can't just do down 1 cat claw against him, but
what's the
she can check him with down 1.
She does 1, forward 2, and he's walking back. What's the 50-50? Like, what's the other? There's one option is forward 1. What's the other option?
Back 1?
Back 1 into what? He's got trait on.
You just like do the moves for the pressure until his trait runs out. Like, he's not gonna have trait forever.
So she has to get through a fortress. Then she has to be right on the jump. Then she has to be right on her pressure. Then the trait's out and she then gets to guess. That sounds awful. That sounds like a nightmare to me.
It's not necessarily, like, you just have to go for, like, different mix-ups. Like, I don't know, you have to use pressure. You can't just always go for, like, fishing for combos against him.
I know, that's what I do. I mean, but that sucks. Like, it's hard as hell to get in. Then you get in and you're like, alright. And then you have to do all this, you have to cut short everything just to get him to get rid of trait. You have to keep him and at any time if he's right, if you do back one and he blocks it, then he gets his down one fury. You're like once.
Can't you just do back one too? And that's like
negative.
It's like negative, like almost nothing. Let me look it up.
That means he gets down one trident. You got to back off or block it. Like you can't mash cat claws. You can't mash down one cat claws.
Yeah, it's -1.
Yeah, that -1 against Aquaman fucking sucks.
Yeah, but you just have to, like, time out the trait. Like, he's not gonna always have trait. Like,
it's 12 seconds. 12 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's not 12 seconds long. It's not 12 seconds long.
The cooldown's 12 seconds. So for 12 seconds, Catwoman gets to play her game.
There's absolutely no way Catwoman wins that match. There's absolutely no way it's even.
Who wins the match?
Aquaman easily wins that match.
What if you just...
Staggering strings doesn't do shit.
What if you just play it safe as Catwoman? Like, just do a lot of well-spaced jump twos, and, like, just end your strings, like, do actually, like, forward 1, 1, 2, 3, and then just back off again. And just be patient, and then do another jump two. And just
You're not doing anything.
You're not doing, nothing's happening.
Yeah, but he can't do anything about it either.
Why not?
What do you mean?
Well, how's he going to stop the jump two?
If all he has to do is
avoid that space.
Right. If
he sees that he's in that jump 2 range and he just, like, backdashes away, or he just gets out, or he does a preemptive jump 1, or if he wants to if he's feeling frisky. Like, all he has to do is just keep avoiding that range. And
meter burn back 3.
Yeah, he can do that too. Like,
that's 40% or something.
Yeah, but
then you try playing it
forcing
safe.
him to do stuff.
Right.
He outzones her.
Yeah,
she doesn't outzone him.
Every time that he actually does something, though, he has to take a risk, and you can beat it on a read. Like,
but he reacts to her. He has the benefit of sitting back and watching. Yeah, he just has to do things and hope. He controls that match. She controls that match at one point on the screen. Everywhere else on the screen, he wins. There's literally one pocket on the screen where she might have a slight advantage. She doesn't win up close. She doesn't win full screen. She doesn't win anywhere.
Except full screen, max jump 2 range, she can irritate with that and make him start blocking. Not even into a 50-50. He just has to keep blocking.
She's also good in the matchup from max forward 1 range.
Why? Like,
I don't know about that. Like, his back 1. Like, I get that her forward 1 outranges back 1, but back 1 is faster than forward 1.
Right, so she has to be throwing on like a 16.
She has to throw that out well in advance.
And then he has one of the best whiff punishers you could ask for.
Yeah, like, she whiffs a forward 1, and he just kept... If he didn't do back 1, and he just kept holding back, she just whiffed right in front of his face. In order for her to beat back 1, she's got to do that first. because his back one is faster than her forward one.
Yeah, but every time
So
he does
again,
something
she's
like
still doing things out on a whim and hoping that this goes right, where he's still has the benefit of just holding back and reacting.
you can't react to a forward one.
You mean you just hold back and it's like, oh, he just whiffed, fuck him up.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he whiffs.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If he's holding back, she can only blow a back one by just it's basic footsie. She's just throwing out forward one on a read, and that he's the one in the position to be walking back doing nothing and reacting to that. Like it's
You can't react to a forward one on if it's in the range of the attack. There's no way.
No, you react to it with it.
Yeah, okay, yes, but I mean you have to space it correctly.
But if you space it correctly, if she spaced it correctly so it's not whiffing, it is then in the range where his back one would beat it because it's faster.
Yeah, but I mean he still has to.
Yeah, but that's horrible.
It's not that bad because there's
It's
like
not
a range.
that bad.
Because she can also whiff punish him.
What the hell is she gonna whiff punish with?
Forward one. It'll whiff punish
He does
back
back
two.
1-2 in that range. That 2 is probably gonna connect.
No, not within her max forward one range.
Even if you have Daigo level footsies and he's doing back 1-2 and you spaced it so you can whiff punish with forward one, who cares? You don't even get a combo then.
Yeah, you just trade.
Yeah.
This is best case scenario. You guessed right on your forward one. Who cares?
You out footsied Aquaman and rewarded the traits.
I guess you could whiff punch with a cat dash.
You could. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
But I mean, my
That's
God.
a hell of a read.
Yeah.
Considering he can just throw out back 2s as well.
That's true. Back two is good.
She can meter burn back 3, his back 2 on reaction. I do it all the time, but it's because I'm committed to do it. Like, I literally would be walking back in that range, and I'll be like, I think he's ready to, like, my hand, I'm literally holding R2. Like, that's literally all I'm doing. So, I mean, yeah, she has answers, but the risk-reward with that trait is very frustrating. Like, I don't see how you can't see how frustrating it would be to have a mechanic where you're already struggling to play the game against him, and then when you're right, he traits. And then you have to keep guessing to make him waste his trait, and then you get to do the normal guessing game that you can against every... Like, do you think you must think that she's like the best character in the game. Like, if you think that her footsies are good against Aquaman, do you think Catwoman versus like the Flash is like 2-8 for Flash?
No.
All right. Anyway, move on.
All right. But hold on. I have to bring this up. What your Catwoman up playing? Okay, you said she was one of the best. You said she was S+ tier. Where are Catwoman?
Huh?
Why is Catwoman not doing as well as you? You have her like S tier.
I had her as really good. Okay, well, one thing was I made a slight mistake in there because when I looked at Catwoman, I judged her based on her versus like the top characters, and I feel like Catwoman is a character that does really well against a lot of the top characters. Like even pre-patch, she stood a really good chance against Superman. Black Adam was manageable, in my opinion. I mean, like most of the top tiers, she could do really well against, but I feel like she struggles in some really weird matchups. Maybe I don't know if you agree with me on that. Like Lex.
I know you think Lex is an example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me and Crazy have been playing that a lot, just trying to grind that matchup out, trying to figure out what to do, and it feels that one feels really not good. There's some other weird matchups like. I need to look at the character select screen. What do you think are her bad matchups?
I'm really hesitant to say. Like, I need a lot of information. I think Aquaman is the one that stands out. It's obvious. And then there's a bunch that... Killer Frost, I think... Although I do think Catwoman has a pretty decent post-slide guessing game. The nature of the reset probably means it's in Catwoman's favor. I would say Lex's possibility, but I need to play that a lot more before I can. Like, I don't feel comfortable saying a lot of these. Flash is possible. It's possible, like, Flash can punish claws, Flash out damages her. They kind of have a very similar design.
Yeah, their footsies tools are like the same speed and range, too.
They're very, very similar, but he out damages her. But I don't know. Doomsday is a possibility. The guessing game after a meter burn Venom, damage-wise, is in her favor, but he, by nature, gets to choose when he plays that guessing game all the time. And he's got excellent tools to blow up or wake up attacks. Black Adam still could be a bad match for her. Definitely, like, winnable. But he might still win. I'm not sure. There's a bunch like that where I don't know. But Aquaman is one that I've played enough where I'm confident on that one. Like, I don't see the argument that it wouldn't be bad.
The ones that I'm looking at as trouble matchups for Catwoman are definitely, it's actually most of the big bodies, like Lex, and I feel like Doomsday could have like a slight upper hand on her, and I feel like Bane could be a problem potentially.
That's possible too, and that's a match I've been playing a lot and thinking about a lot lately. But I don't know, we'll see. I'm definitely not playing that match at max potential yet.
Yeah, I feel like there's some strange like hitbox things that you could do, especially like with his double punch.
So you take back that she's S+ tier.
Yeah, but like, did you see my reasoning? Like, I thought she did really well. I mean, I still do think she does really well against a lot of the top tiers. But she loses to some weird ass characters, man.
If you have formally conceded that she's not S+ tier, I will actually let you off the hook. But you're still on the hook for this Aquaman thing. It's ridiculous.
Alright, well, she's definitely good. She's definitely, like, high tier, in my opinion. But, no, I don't think she's, like, S+. No way.
Okay. I'm reasonable.
What else should we cover here?
Let's talk about Killer Instinct. I wanted to talk about that earlier.
Let's talk about Killer Instinct.
KI3. Do you guys think that Killer Instinct is going to make it as a competitive game?
If it's good, I think it
sounds like it will.
It looks awesome.
I played it at EVO, and I thought it was cool. I barely knew what the hell was going on. I was basically mashing.
Did you understand, like, the combo system? And
sort of. But
there's a lot of canceling.
I want it to be good. I want it to be successful. I'm skeptical about the model. 6 characters and all that. Like,
yeah, I know.
Well, let me tell you what I'm skeptical about. Like, we were obviously there for the birth and creation of the MK9 competitive scene.
Yeah.
And, we all know how hard that was. Like, all of the good scenes pushed really hard to, keep it alive. Especially during those, like, first, like the second year. Like, it kind of died out after the first EVO. And we all needed to push really hard. And, we got our numbers because we all worked really hard. And, KI, everybody's liking KI, But, first of all, it's only on one system. So can you imagine us trying to run all of our MK stuff with one half of the players? That we would have died, right?
It's going to make it a lot harder.
Yeah, I mean...
And it's a next-gen system. Personally, I can't afford it. I'm excited about the game, but I'm not going to buy it at launch.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for those people to afford that shit.
Yeah, so there was more to that. So it's one half because it's 2 next-gen systems. And then, not everybody's going to buy a next-gen system, right? So what do you think, like maybe 75% of the people are going to buy a next-gen system? Like maybe half the people are going to buy a next-gen system?
Yeah.
So then that's like 25% of the player base. And then, there's a lot of anti-Xbox One stuff still, A lot of people don't trust it. So maybe even less than that. So like, say you have like, 20 to 30% of the MK player base that we had. Like, even if it's an amazing game, I just don't understand how it's going to work out with that player base.
Like, which community do you think's gonna adapt it more? Like the MK community, the Capcom community?
I think the Capcom community.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be mostly MK people.
I don't know. It didn't feel like MK to me when I played it.
It definitely doesn't feel like MK. That's true.
Yeah. I mean, it's so stylized, like Street Fighter 4, kind of, you know?
The movement feel like Street Fighter?
And just the visuals, like everything's fucking shiny.
Yeah.
And like, it's just the size of the characters and like, I don't know. It felt a lot like it to me, like a really hyper Street Fighter 4. But I mean, yeah, I think it looks like a good game, and I hope it like does well. But I mean, as good as the game is, if you can only get like 1/4 of the player base or 1/3 of the player base of like, you know, these games they're all trying to live and barely making it, like,
just to play devil's advocate, I think the fact that who is it, like Double Helix or whoever?
Yeah.
The fact that they're constantly going to be updating the game and adding characters and shit, it sounds like they're going to be, you know, supporting the game for a while. So if they support the game long enough to the point where enough people eventually do have an X-Bone or whatever people are calling it.
It's not like a grandma, whatever they're calling it, X-Bone or whatever that newfangled thing is called.
Yeah. Like, if they are, like, supporting it for, like, you know, a year or a year plus or something, and, you know, more and more people get it, more and more people start playing it, then, like, you know, maybe it'll happen. So they do have that going for them. Like, I mean, they're only starting off with 6 characters, and then they're going to keep adding as it goes along.
Yeah, their thing is, they're like, this is not a game, it's a platform to deliver content on.
My concern, though, is that does that fly, like at tournaments? Like, let's say the game isn't that popular at the start for the reasons Chef just said, and it doesn't have a good turnout at NEC. Well, VIA is going to look at that for SoCal Regionals and be like, this didn't have a big turnout. And yeah, there's a lot more characters now, and maybe it'll start to pick up because it's, you know, the end of February, but I can't bank on that. I'm not going to make it a main game.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to have a big tournament scene right away, but I think down the line.
But the problem
like,
with that is
once all the characters come out and everyone's really getting used to it, then they'll be like, we need to start holding tournaments. Like, we got this shit.
I don't know about that, man. When has a game ever been not good on release, or not a lot of people playing it on release, and a lot of people playing it later?
I can only think of one example, and it's not exactly the same, but it's similar, and that's Street Fighter 3 Third Strike in the United States. That game lived and was very meh. It was never Marvel or CVS2 or Alpha. People were like, whatever, this game sucks. It died, and then everyone saw the Japanese play, and the game became the main Street Fighter for a while. But that was like 10 years ago. Other than that, I think you're right. It's a very valid concern.
Yeah, I mean, like, look at Street Fighter Tekken is the most recent example, you know? Street Fighter X Tekken. They released a huge content patch, like, they're like, we're fixing all the bad things about the game, you know? A bunch of top players came out and they're like, wow, the game's so much better. It's really fun now. It's one of the best, you know, fighting games out there. Still, nobody turns up for tournaments. Like, have you guys personally ever played a game on release and then not played it for like 6-7 months and then tried to go back and play it?
No.
It's incredibly hard, like, incredibly hard.
I mean, no one gives a shit about Street Fighter Cross Tekken, though.
No, but I mean, like my perspective.
That's the point.
But my perspective, KI is got a lot more draw than Street.
Yeah, but you're gonna
give a shit.
Like, KI3 comes out in November, and it might not be that good at first. I'm not gonna invest my time.
If it starts off sucking, then that's a problem, yeah.
Right, because I don't know half the matches with Catwoman. Being good with Catwoman is far more important to me than playing a game that's not even going to be big at tournaments. Like, I'm training for
Wait. As we know, EVO is going to be on Xbox. Yeah. That means Killer Instinct is going to be at EVO.
It does not necessarily mean that.
Dude,
and secondly, like, this is what my point is, like, so let's say, no, hold on. So what I'm saying is, like, all right, so let's say in November it's not good enough yet. It's not worth playing, and I choose to focus on Injustice. Then all of a sudden it's May, and I'm way behind. Like, now Injustice is coming up for EVO again. Like, when would I ever get the time to join? That's what Wonder Chef is saying. Like, if you don't start off investing, Like, how often do people actually say, oh, I never made time before, but now I'm going to start making time?
But there is a small group of people that have been waiting for this game for like 20 years.
Well, I'm one of them. I love KI. I'm going to give it a chance. I'm just concerned.
Yeah, I mean, then there's the problem of, like, there's always the dedicated players for that game. So, like, say you're like, well, yeah, it's November, and it comes out, you don't have an Xbox, you don't really fully get to learn the game, you get to sort of play it, and then, you know, you kind of are okay, you kind of stop playing it till May. Well, in May, there's going to be these people who've been playing this game really hardcore for, you know, whatever, six months or so, you know? How are you ever going to catch up to them now? So then you start playing, you're like, I'm losing, and you're like, I'm just going to go back to the game that I've been playing consistently, you know? The game that I should be concentrating on, not one that I have to spend half a year to catch up on.
Right.
Like,
That's what I'm concerned about, too.
It's a valid point.
I think the grassroots for those KI players is going to have to be really strong for a long time. And
Yeah,
so,
they are going to have to make up for it
while people catch up.
Yeah.
yeah, but, I mean, look at MK. Is there a fighting game, aside from Street Fighter, that has a fan base as big as Mortal Kombat? I would say no.
No.
Killer Instinct is not close to the fan base that Mortal Kombat has.
No.
And with as much love as MK9 was, and how cool it was, like, visually and stuff, we had trouble keeping it alive with a full player base. Right?
It's true.
So, like,
It's got a good
It's
point.
much smaller. Yeah.
and so, like, imagine, like I was saying earlier, imagine trying to run that with, like, 1/3 of the people we had, you know? Imagine if, you know, our 40-man locals were 12-man locals. Or, like, you know, our, you know, majors that had, like, 80 people had 20 people. You know, 25 people. The game would die. It would have died in 2011.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. If they pull this off, I'm rooting for them. If they do it, it'll be extremely impressive.
Me too.
If the game is really that good, I think it'll make it. Because, dude, when I watch those videos, I'm like, this is fucking awesome. I'm willing to pay $600 to play it.
If I had $600, I would be.
That's just me. I mean,
Yeah, I think it's cool.
Yeah.
it's
If
ultra
I-
fucking fast. The music, music design is amazing.
Yeah, like the aesthetics, you know, they definitely rival MK.
Yeah, it's the one game that has the cool atmosphere, like,
Like, it's badass.
yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm so high for Orchid. Like, I was really worried that she wouldn't be in that initial roster. When that Sadira, what's her name?
Sadira.
When she was announced, I was like, oh man, that means no Orchid. Because if there's only 6 characters, I didn't think they'd have 2 girls. And I was like, dude, this sucks. Who am I going to play? I was like emo about it. Then when
You cut out.
they had that teaser where she jumped down, I was like, oh my god. Like, literally, I mean, Slips, you were there when I saw it, I was like, everybody, Orchid. Everyone's like, who cares? And I was like, Orchid. I was like legitimately marking out. It was awesome.
Yeah,
I remember what happened as I checked Twitter.
Jaguar.
I checked Twitter, and CD Senior, who almost never speaks, he made a tweet that simply said, Orchid. And I was like, what? And then I checked the video, and I was like, oh my god, that's so tight.
Yeah. All their videos are really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm excited for it.
They definitely have a really good, like, team of people behind it. And, like, a lot of good, like, testers and stuff that I've heard of. So, I mean, that's really, you know, highly in their favor, which is good.
I heard bringing good testers is key to making good fighting games.
Hint, hint.
What?
Trying to get a raise.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'd have no doubt it's going to be tight. I'm actually going to play it Sunday, so.
Let us know how that goes. I want to see Orchid gameplay. They haven't showed any yet.
I know, I saw they had a stream where they accidentally selected her and they cut off the stream.
Yeah, they didn't show it. I watched that.
Yeah, I'm emo about that. I'm going to play it and she's probably not going to be playable.
She won't be.
Which sucks.
Yeah, I heard it was just, it's like the Evo build I think they have
Okay.
at that Chicago thing.
I'll have to play as Jago.
Dude, Sadira looks insane. Like, her mobility and stuff. She's got Vega wall bounces. Double jumps. Who you gonna main Slips and Killer Instinct?
I have absolutely no idea. I have no clue. Is
I
there a
think you
ninja?
should-
Pick one.
Yeah.
There's only 6.
I bet he'll play Jago.
Jago's
I usually like ninjas, but he's so stupid looking.
What
I
about
agree.
Spinal?
Maybe, I don't know.
Spinal's cool. I like his
Maybe there'll be a cooler ninja. Jago's so cliche.
He has Shoto moves too. Like a
Yeah, I
Shoryuken
can't
and
play
a
with-
Fireball.
I just don't. I like ninjas, but he's just not gonna work. Is he really Isn't he like a monk though?
Yeah, he's a
Yeah,
monk.
he's a monk.
Yeah, man, I need a ninja, dude. Come on. I don't
What
know.
about
I don't know
Tusk?
who I'm gonna play.
Tusk
is
awesome.
Tusk is tight.
Like cool.
Tusk is awesome. Can we talk about his song? He's got the best song in Killer Instinct.
I don't know about that, but it is really good.
It's awesome, man.
All
It's
the
like
music is-
Conan the Barbarian. It's so fucking good. It's perfect.
I think he'll be in season 2.
I hope he's in. He's a badass character.
He
What
was
about
good.
TJ Combo?
That's racist.
What? How? How is that
TJ
racist?
Combo.
Just the
How is that-
characters. The character's super racist.
He is super racist. Like, he drives through the ghetto in his ending, and he's like, yeah, in like a Cadillac. That's super racist.
His song is super racist.
Yeah, it is.
Name one early fighting game that wasn't super racist.
I honestly can't think of one. Street Fighter
Yeah.
2 is insanely racist.
It's
Yeah.
insanely racist.
Mortal Kombat wasn't racist.
It was racist to
They
Asians.
have an Asian guy. Yeah, an Asian guy going, oh!
Bruce Lee ripoff.
Oh
Like
yeah.
a fucking
I thought all
Lorraine
Asians
hat
did
and
that.
shit. Oh, yeah, we do. That's how we communicate with each other.
Dude, what's it like to be Asian? I bet it's awesome.
What?
It's
What?
I wish I was Asian.
what?
Do you wish you were Asian, but like still in Oklahoma, or do you want to be like Japanese?
No, I want to be like in Japan.
Because I think it would suck to be Asian, but live in like a trailer on a sod farm.
Yeah, that would not be good.
Can we acknowledge Case Heaven's redneck laugh?
Shut up.
It's true. You have the most redneck.
You have a high pitched laugh.
I don't care. At least I'm not a fucking redneck. You see any horses today?
I did actually.
Do you think the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles would have been as popular if they were some other animal? Like if it was like Teenage Mutant Ninja, like I don't know, some other animal. Do you think it would have had the staying power as Turtles?
Like
Yes.
seahorses.
Yes. I think that the Turtles is the least important part of it. The most important thing is Ninja.
You're
Then
an
after that
I don't
is
think so.
Mutant,
No.
then is Teenager, then is Turtles.
Dude, it
No.
doesn't even matter because they don't even look like turtles.
Their
Yeah, they're
throws
barely-
a half shell.
They're barely real. They don't really act like turtles at all. They're essentially just. If they were human beings, kids would have liked it. Because
No.
kids like ninjas.
What if they were rats? That would be fine.
No, that'd be
Oh.
stupid. Actually, that
That'd
would
be
be
fine.
dumb. That'd be Teenage Mutant Ninja horses. That'd be fucking retarded. Who the
Ninja
fuck
horses.
would watch that? Who wants to see
Teenage-
fucking humanoid horses
Teenage-
moving people across the room? It's stupid. Yeah, they're using their hooves and shit.
They could
Dude,
bulge.
that would be fucking. Turtles is like the perfect animal. If it
What?
was Teenage
Because-
Mutant Ninja Sharks, it'd be stupid.
No way,
That'd be
dude.
no
There's,
way.
like,
Actually, that'd
there's
be-
like street sharks and shit. How is that stupid?
Yeah, the staying power of street sharks, because they stayed around.
That's just because they were ripoffs. If
No.
yeah,
It
Dude,
was-
they were fine. They were
It was-
fine.
It'd be dumb.
No way,
So
street
is it-
sharks was very popular.
so as a kid, I liked the ninja part. It's tight that they were ninjas.
Wait a minute. Fuck you. You just said the other day, you were asking Pete. You're like, Pete, what if you could design and make a character, what would you make? He was like, oh, I'd like to have like a ninja who's kind of like a reptile. And then you were like, you know what? It's a brilliant design, because what do kids like? They like ninjas and they like reptiles. Guess what, motherfucker? That's what a Teenage Mutant Ninja fucking turtle is.
No,
Shut the
stop.
fuck up.
No, No, what I said is
It's a fucking it's a ninja and a reptile, exactly what kids cater to. If it was Teenage Mutant Ninja lions, be fucking
kids
stupid.
like lions are tight.
Be
And
dumb.
they're Asian. Lions are Asian.
That's dumb.
Lions are Asian, right?
What?
Lions aren't Asian.
They're African.
They're
Yeah.
African.
They're African, dude.
Never mind.
God damn.
No, that's
you're-
panda bears. Panda bears are Asian.
That's
Ninja
racist.
panda bears would be pretty good, though.
That would be tight, yeah.
That would be tight.
Chef, do you relate to panda bears?
Wow.
What? I mean, like, do you think they're cool? Like, are you like,
Don't pandas actually regulate people?
yeah, like they're badasses? Like, would you want to be like a
They're
mutant?
not friendly and cuddly.
Right. Would you want to be a mutant panda bear?
There actually was a mutant panda bear. That was a character. He
What
was
his name?
Cartoon. Yeah, it was in the cartoon.
He was good. He was
I would
fun.
be a panda.
He was a good cameo, but it can't be your main fucking character.
Why?
It's just Teenage Mutant Ninja Pandas?
Dude, you could turn that around exactly on turtles. Like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? You mean these slow fucking little stubby armed shits with a shell?
That's why they're so cool. It's such a nice upgrade. Like, lions are already cool. Then you give them, like, humanoid form, be like, okay, I mean, they were already cool, but whatever. But when turtles, like, this cute little innocent, it's pretty much a piece of shit, all it can do is hide in its shell when shit goes down, then it's like, holy shit, it's a goddamn ninja now.
I agree.
That's fucking huge. It's like the underdog finally getting its just desserts.
So are you saying that the weaker the creature is, the more effective it is as a ninja?
I mean,
So
it's
would
definitely
you have,
Teenage
like-
Mutant Ninja snails would have been awesome.
That was my exact one that I was going to say.
snails. I don't know about snails.
Why?
can't
It's,
relate
it's like
to snails.
No, kids don't think snails are cool. I didn't grow up, man. I want that toy fucking snail. I wanted something like, I wanted a reptile. I wanted a lizard.
But turtles aren't lizards.
Reptile, whatever. If it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Chameleons, I'd go with that. Teenage Mutant Ninja Frogs, that's cool.
No, they
Turtles-
gotta have the shell.
Turtles is like perfect though.
Yeah, turtles are awesome.
Perfect.
I don't like turtles. I don't like the Ninja Turtles that much either. Stupid.
What?
Yeah, I didn't really care. I mean, they were
How could you
alright.
say that?
Like, it's not that I hated them, but I never got the hype. I wasn't like, they're turtles. That's stupid.
Dude, they're awesome.
Did you
dude.
watch the cartoon?
Yeah.
They compliment each other and shit. It's brilliant. Brilliant.
The comic book was awesome.
Oh, the comic book was awesome.
It was like bloody and shit. It
Oh yeah, it was brutal.
was awesome.
God damn. My cousin has the very first issue.
Let's say it.
Yeah.
What do you think of the new movie they're doing?
It's probably gonna suck balls.
We got Megan Fox as April O'Neil.
I thought she hated Michael Bay.
She did. They had a
Yeah, they had a falling out in Transformers.
So she became nothing after he dropped her. And now she's like, oh, let me get back on this train because I can't ride on any other.
Yeah, she had to apologize and shit. She called him worse than Hitler.
Wow.
Did she really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Didn't, what's his name, Hank Williams, get fired from his job for calling Obama worse than Hitler?
Yes.
Yep.
He did like the Monday Night Football theme or something.
Oh
shit.
yeah. I
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah, that shit. And then they put in Faith Hill, and she was fucking terrible. She sucked at it. They got rid of her. Now, what's her name? That Carrie Underwood's doing it. And she's better than Kate or fucking Faith Hill. God, she was bad. God, it sucked. Christ. Does anyone care that the government's shut down?
Dude, it's not shut down anymore.
What? What happened?
They reached some sort of agreement.
What's
That was
the-
like yesterday.
Oh, what's the agreement?
I don't know.
Pass
Who
it
really-
off till 2015.
I don't know.
It didn't affect anybody.
Our country sucks balls.
I don't get the shutdown. Why did they shut down?
Because pretty much the Republicans didn't like the financial plan. So they were like, we're not spending anything until we get our way.
Like-
Essentially, basically what happened in a nutshell is a few years ago, Obama got his Health Care Act passed. The Republicans are butthurt. And they're like, we're going to defeat you in the election to prove that the American public hates this healthcare plan. And they got their backs blown up. It was like a 2-8 matchup. Mittens Romney got bodied, and he sunk into obscurity, and they're like, oh, well, we lost. But instead of acting like he has a mandate, they were like, no, fuck it. We still don't like it. The Supreme Court ruled. It was fine. Basically, they tried every avenue they could to not do this thing. So then they're like, yeah, well, we still don't like it. Hold that. We're not going to do anything until you compromise with us. And I'm not really sure why the Democrats would be in a position to have to compromise. They won. They got it passed. Their president won re-election. The Constitution said they're fine. So I'm not really sure what bargaining power they have. But they're Republicans, and they're very good at just continuing to argue, even when there's nothing to argue about. And we have a media that's extremely lame and a bunch of pussies that are into nothing but neutrality. Like, they don't call a spade a spade. Everything's neutral, and everyone has their say. So the Republicans just say, Obama don't negotiate with us. He's extreme. While they refuse to negotiate on something that they shouldn't really have any leverage on in the first place. So then we get this debacle.
It's fucked. The whole thing's fucked.
Yeah, I used to follow
we have. I mean, it was pretty much the Democrats were like, well, we'll compromise and then we'll pass the buck to the next president so he can deal with it. And then the Republicans are just like, fuck it, we're not going to do shit. We're just going to let the country burn to the ground. I mean, either way, we're fucked. It sucks. And we got a president that's he's trying to be the big man, saying, "Oh, look at me! I'm gonna look at me work with this bought Congress, this Congress that's totally bought. I'm gonna work with it. Look how great I am. I'm gonna somehow make it work. I'm gonna negotiate and shit." And he just needs to come out and he just needs to abandon it. He just needs to come out and just be like, tell the people, we can't do anything. The Republicans are pretty much holding the country hostage. It is what it is. Our Democrats, I mean, they're in it too. They can't do shit either. I can't do anything. So we're incompetent, and we won't be able to do shit until you guys vote out all this garbage.
I have to say, is this not the most depressing episode ever? We're talking about like coma rape and like assisted suicide and this like depressing government stuff, and the worst thing is we talked about Aquaman, Catwoman for an hour.
Yeah, I used to follow politics religiously. It was my second hobby alongside video games. I was obsessed. I read 548 blog nonstop. I watched anything I can get my hands on. I was super into it. I could tell you the delegates that each state had primary.
That's dumb.
I was a huge nerd. I followed all the policies. I could probably name all 100 senators 2 years ago. But during the development of Injustice, when we got super busy, I fell behind. There was this period of time working on Injustice where we essentially had no lives other than working on Injustice. We were like cut off to the outside world. I don't think we saw daylight for like 2 months straight. And I realized after not following politics that I didn't miss anything. Nothing ever happened.
It doesn't matter.
It matters. Don't get me. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I'm saying there's nothing I can do about it. I'm now disenfranchised and bitter, which I never thought I would be. I'd listen to Carlin, and I'd be like, I'll never be like that. And I'm now like that. The Democrats are pussies. They don't do anything. The Republicans are losers, but they're somehow able to dominate the conversation. Their negotiating strategy is so filthy yet brilliant. They say, this is what we want. We want A, B, and C. And we're willing to negotiate if you give us A, B, and C. And then if Democrats go, well, that's not a negotiation, that's just you getting A, B, and C, they go, you're radical. Why won't you negotiate with me? How fucking extreme. All I want is A, B, and C, and you won't even come to the negotiation table. And the Democrats will go, well, what if we gave you A and B? No! I said I want A, B, C, and D. And the Democrats will go, God, well, all right, I guess you guys can have A, B, and C. And they're like, that's right. A grand bargain. Settled then. We got A, B, and C. Also, we're adding D at the end. Or we're cutting out. No, you guys said A, B, and C. No, A, B, C, and D, or we're cutting out. Fine.
The problem is the Republicans
That's exactly what happens.
They're businessmen. and the Democrats are politicians. How do you can't compromise with businessmen?
You don't.
They either say it's my way or the highway.
We don't.
Politicians are supposed to compromise, and they work with each other. It's like, all right, we'll meet you, we'll do this, and you do that, and then we'll make this work. Whereas in businessmen are just like, no, we're doing this. This is what I want, and if you don't like it, then fuck it.
We don't have a media that calls them out on that. We don't have a media that does any reporting. We have a media that calls it like, we have guys like Wolf Blitzer who are I could do his job. All they do is regurgitate press releases and talking points. Side A says this. Side B says that. I don't know. You decide. The Republicans, they say they're willing to negotiate. The Democrats, they say they're willing to negotiate. The Republicans say that they're unwilling to negotiate. I don't know. I'm not actually going to report and tell you what's the facts. I'm just going to say both sides. I don't know. The Republicans, they say Scorpion is blue. The Democrats are saying Scorpion's yellow. I'm blind and an idiot, and I can't tell. So I'll leave it up to the public to decide. Well, there are facts. There's reality. But the political parties don't believe in reality. They shape their own reality, and there's no one to call them out on it. So I gave up. I no longer care. I barely have even followed this, because I know it's pointless. The status quo will remain. The Republicans will get 99% of what they want. Obama will go out and say he made a grand bargain, and he's the ultimate negotiator, and he came to a deal, and isn't that great? And I'll vote Democratic because at least they're slightly better. They're not quite as bad as the Republicans. But I'm done. And it's a shame because I was so passionate. I was so fucking passionate. And now it's like I'm completely apathetic. So that's why I don't rant about it, Slips. You've been asking me if I want to do a political rant. And the truth is I don't follow it. Nor can I care anymore. I'm all out of caring.
Yeah, it's to the point where, you get raised in this country thinking, oh, it's the people have the power, you vote for the people that you want. Well, it's like, there's no one good to vote for. Like, it doesn't matter who we have in there. Like, everyone's corrupt. So there's no point.
I don't want to say that it doesn't matter. If Al Gore had been president, we probably would not have gone to the Iraq War. But I like Obama, but he won, and he doesn't have a mandate. He won again, and he still doesn't have a mandate. I don't understand. I don't understand. Let's move on. This is depressing.
I've never voted ever.
You should definitely vote. Voting matters, but
I'd vote for Ralph Nader.
The day to day, following it, I can't do it anymore. I'll never not vote. It does matter. It could be the matter between life and death. I mean, if you have a choice between an absolutely horrible, horrible candidate who would take away gay rights or women's rights or send you off to war, and another candidate who's kind of bland and weak and impotent, at least that guy's not going to fuck over someone's life. So it matters, but it doesn't matter like I wish it did.
Who do you
and
think?
I fooled myself into thinking it did for a couple years.
Who do you think Obama would main an injustice?
Cyborg.
Cyborg.
Yeah, military.
Better Grundy.
Dude.
Actually, Cyborg, beyond the joke, it makes perfect sense. Zoner, keep him out. Stay conservative. Play it safe. Ground fireball, ground fireball, ground fireball.
I like
it. Keep him out. Don't do anything controversial. No, you don't need high damage, but no risk. Low risk, low reward, very conservative, very playing it safe. It's perfect for him.
Maybe you'll get a timeout.
Yeah, exactly. That or Green Lantern, Jon Stewart costume.
That's racist.
Well, no, he was a Marine, soldier, commander-in-chief. What'd you think?
Because he's black. Alright, let's wrap this shit up. How about the name game?
Alright.
Now, Chef, I'm gonna say some names. You say the first thing that comes into your mind.
It doesn't have to be one word, and it cannot be the character's main, or the player's main.
If you say their main, you're out and the show ends.
Right.
How many times can I say fucking idiot?
As many as you want.
Good. I'm gonna be slow on these, I'm sure, but
Alright.
go for
First name that comes into your mind. First name. Tom Brady.
it. Man, it's a joke that you guys wouldn't get. Sonic Boom Brad always does this impression of him, where he goes, interactable OTGs. But you guys wouldn't know, because he...
No.
Alright, let's see, what do I think of him aside from that, though?
You remember when he called you Wonder Shelf on Twitter?
Yeah, of course I remember that. Those are the good old days.
Yeah, that was a classic.
People like Wonder Shelf will never bring me down. That's what he said. That was the tweet.
That's awesome.
Next name. T-Virus.
T-Virus?
T-Virus.
Lame. Man, I don't like that name.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I'm glad he went back to Tyrant. He said T-Virus was a phase.
How about Godspeed?
Killer Instinct. He's really into Killer Instinct.
CD Jr.
Who?
Damn. Oh, he's gonna like that.
There's no way he listens to this.
Someone will tell him. Storms.
Ugh. It's just Twitter.
Yeah. Glass sword. Say it.
Oh, man. Best commentary ever.
That's not
You
what
see
I
the other day when he was super racist while talking to Clint?
Yeah.
What? What?
We gotta get him on this show.
He was talking about where black people come from, and it was like super
He
racist.
said that we're all black, and that we're like, the further away from the equator you are, the less black you are.
Oh my god!
That's his words, not mine.
Dude, could you not watch like 4 hours straight of just Glass Sword commentary? I could.
I could.
Doesn't the equator go through like the middle of like Thailand and shit? So shouldn't all Thai people be black?
I don't know.
A lot of Thai people are pretty dark.
Wow.
Racist.
That's racist.
That's true. That's not even racist.
Next name. Pig of the Hut.
I heard like Asians, like if it doesn't snow in your Asian country, then you're like a low tier Asian country.
What?
What?
That's what I heard. Like if it's an Asian country and it snows there, then you know you're good. But if it doesn't snow in your Asian country, then you're like a low tier Asian. That's what
Where did you hear this?
Who told you?
I had an Asian friend. That's what he said.
Name one Asian country where it doesn't snow.
Like
Yeah.
you know, like Thailand and shit. Like Laos.
What?
Philippines doesn't snow there, right?
Does it?
No.
How
I
the
don't know.
fuck would we know?
Isn't PPJ from the Philippines?
We should ask him.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
is.
we
We
need
should
to
ask
ask Jay.
He's retired though, so we can't ask him.
Oh. Oh well. Anyway, Pig of the Hut.
Look at that.
Man, insistent. That fool is mad insistent right now. He's got this like super intense energy to always like talk about matchups and like prove like this guy plays this guy and this guy plays this guy and like blah 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 blah. It's really intense, man.
Yeah,
Don't you think?
He's
Like the cowboy thing is cool, but like he's constantly on it. It's really intense, hard to keep up.
He's hungry.
about KDZ.
Fraud.
Oh, man.
I like it.
That's awesome.
How about 16-bit? Say it.
I don't know. It's actually like a hard one.
Because he's right here.
No, I don't know. Nothing in particular comes to mind. Like
That makes me more emo than insulting me.
stock market, I guess. I don't know.
I'm emo.
Oh no, you know what I think of? I'll tell you the funniest story that I think of. More than thinking about our game at Evo. So we played, and then I went over and I played Theo, and I lost. Actually, I played one more game I won. Played 3 and lost. I was kind of bummed out, but not too bad. I was sitting there in the front row watching, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, Tommy Waffles runs up to me. He goes, Chef, and I'm like, yeah? He's like, you beat 16-bit? He just looks at me wide-eyed like he would never expect it, and I'm like, yeah? And he just goes, good job, man. He gives me this huge handshake.
Tommy! God damn it.
That's your teammate.
Oh my god. All the defending you did for Tommy. Didn't you give him $300 to go to a tournament?
KT Smith was way ahead of his prime. He was brilliant. He paved the way for Smoke players, and all others are just imitators. And Smoke X, don't even get me started on how good he was. He almost beat Rio.
I thought that was hilarious, dude. And he just ran away, like, real quick.
Didn't you give Tommy a bunch of money to go to a tournament?
I paid for him. I paid for his ass to go to CEO with money I won by winning an Injustice tournament.
That's how he repays you?
And Tommy, we have to talk about this.
Tommy hates you, man.
Maybe he was just surprised. Maybe he just assumed that I was dead in that match.
Yeah, how do you feel knowing... I went to ask you about this. In MK, you were okay. You're an okay player. You're not going to claim that you were this top player. But in Justice, you're definitely much better and much more successful. Yet it still seems like you don't get props. Like, that's a good example of that. Like, you do well on Wednesday Night Fights. Why would it be that surprising that you beat me? It's not... It's like, I mean, how do you deal with the MK community being stuck on... Like, CD Jr. is a good example. A lot of people would say that CD Jr., oh, he's a top player. Well, who's Wonder Chef? Yet you're significantly more successful than he's been in the past 6 months.
Yeah, you know the ultimate...
None of your tweets get French paid articles.
Well, you know the number one thing that I realized? I was sitting there for a moment, and I realized if you went to most people and said, who's a better player in Injustice, Maxter or Wonder Chef? Bet you more people would say Maxter.
I agree, and that's fucked up.
It is. It's really weird. But, yeah, man, I just don't know. I mean, a lot of people concentrate on me losing to Superman, which is a big deal. But, I mean, I have the most, I'm tied with Eris for the most top threes at what's it called? At Wednesday Night Fights, not using Superman or Black Adam. Oh, except for Tyrant with Grundy. But, like, aside from that, I mean, I'm one of the most successful players there. As far as that goes, I mean, and I did it with a lot of characters. I mean, I'm not like the best. There's definitely people in SoCal better than me. But, I don't know. I'm relatively successful in this game, and people do still think I just, like, suck. It's weird.
Yeah, but it's not just you. You're definitely a victim of it, and honestly, it's because blowing you up is so funny. That's why I like blowing you up. Because you have this goofy personality, yet you also have these bold opinions, and it's kind of a weird juxtaposition between this kind of jolly goofball, but you're also talking about how Aquaman beats Catwoman beats Aquaman. So I just want to blow you up so bad.
Yeah, you just blew him up for 3 hours on this.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people like that who are just like, oh, that person can't be good. They weren't that good at MK, and it makes no sense to me.
Who else was not good at MK and is good at Injustice?
I'm Newbie Sauce in Chicago. Was just kind of whatever in MK. Not really at our level. He came in really late, yet in Injustice, he's much, much better. Pimpin' Jim was very good at MK, the best Sector player at the end of the game's life. But in Injustice, he's not just like he's our 5th best player. He's one of our best players, period.
I don't know, man. I feel like for Pim, he just was slowly getting better over time. And it was just kind of lined up with Injustice. I feel like that might have been that way, because he really was, like, not that significant at the start, but at the end he was just beating a lot of people.
To an extent, I agree with you. That's definitely part of his performance in tournament and all that is much better, but I also think Injustice just suits him way more, and I think Injustice plays to his strengths. Godspeed is a perfect example. Very, very non-noteworthy career at MK. He quit the game for a long time, came back, seemed like he just kind of played for fun to support the game. Injustice, top 8 at EVO.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to be the biggest, actually.
Yeah, he sort of is as far as results, but, like, he didn't play the full time of MK, so.
That's true. I mean, that's part of the reason why. But Reno Rax, definitely better in Injustice than MK. MK played Rain. He was okay. Nothing special. In Injustice, he one of Atlanta's best players, top 16 at Summer Jam. Or Fall Classic, or whatever it was. There's a million East Coast majors, so it's hard to keep track of them. Also, Reno Rax. Does anyone else notice he looks like Mr. Big from Art of Fighting? Think about it.
He does. That's awesome.
Anyway, more names?
Let's do some shout outs. You got anything you want to plug, Wonder Chef?
Damn, there's like a million people I'm supposed to give shout outs to. They all asked me.
If you don't, now you're going to be on blast. So.
Yeah.
I know. Alright,
Anyone you forget is going to be mad.
Super Nerd Javon, shout outs to him. Rampage, for staying positive. Paul Matthews, I have no idea what the dude's tag is. Doesn't he live by you guys?
I don't think he has a tag. I think he's just Paul Matthews.
Oh, okay.
He's from Indiana.
Yeah. Sim. Dude, I want to take 2 minutes to talk about how awesome Sim is at creating tech. That dude is genius. Do you guys remember Teef from MK days?
Yeah.
I do.
Teef was amazing, and this Sim guy is like the new reincarnation of Teef. He's exactly like him. It's amazing. But yeah, Sim's amazing.
Alright.
Who else do I have to shout outs to? Cash. I want to give shout outs to lesser known SoCal players. Like Cash and Fighting King and freaking I Am Noob. A lot of people like that. I guess that's most of the shout outs. I'm probably gonna forget a million people, but shout outs to you guys for bringing back KTP.
Yeah, shout outs to us. Well, thanks for coming on, Mr. Chef.
Well, thank you for having me for this extremely depressing episode.
What about our plugs and shout-outs?
You don't get shit.
Alright.
You had an hour to talk about fucking Catwoman.
Dude, she's awesome.
She sucks.
Shout-outs to Catwoman
Alright.
in all her incarnations.
Goodbye, TYM.
Hold on, I'm not done. We're going to be in Tennessee this weekend, as in next weekend. A bunch of us are going to the King of Bling in Nashville, and we're hoping that Atlanta's going to be there. I don't know the latest update, but we're going to be there because there's a $750 pop bonus, so, we'll go. I think Carl's talking about going. So that'll be cool. That'll be streamed. Check it out. It's similar. It's Midwest Championship. Remember that tournament from a few months ago? It's basically part 2 of that. Also, check out our weekly every Thursday Ghost Battle series at twitch.tv.gallopingghost.arcade.
You got it wrong.
Did I?
It's twitch.tv.
Whatever. I don't care.
Isn't that what he's... Huh.
Yeah, isn't that what I said?
No,
that's what he said.
you left off the TV.
Whatever. Everyone knows the link. Everyone knows about it anyway.
Right.
Alright, Slips, do you have any shoutouts?
Nah. Shout outs to Teenage Mutant Ninja Horses. Stupid.
Shout outs to Obama. Alright, we're done. Bye.
I have the soft toilet paper.
You don't like mine? Is it better? Is yours better than mine?
My toilet paper is definitely better than yours.
Alright.
Mine's soft, man.
Is it like
Quilted
soft
toilet
and like breaks apart and then you just have like
No, it's soft
lint
like
all over your asshole?
it feels like a woman licking your anus with her tongue.
Wow.
What else,
Awesome.
What else would you lick it with?
I'm just saying. What's going on, dude?
What
Which
dude?
There's like
yeah.
a bunch of dudes in here.
Yeah, I don't know.
You should have said dudes.
Yeah, I don't know your first name. I've just wondered
says
stuff,
on
I guess.
there, you fucking idiot.
Oh yeah, Evan. There you go. Hashimoto.
That's fucking racist,
racist
man.
as
You can't do that.
Hashimoto.
What the fuck was that?
What? That's how you say it, right?
No,
No.
you don't. How would you feel if someone called you Brad Vitale?
I'd be like, "What's up, man? Thanks for speaking of my heritage." It's not Vitale, it's Vitali. Mr. Vitali, how much you gonna dance, sir?
What?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? He doesn't.
It's like my good friend, Brad Vitale.
I'll be down. This is off to a weird start.